They say when you wear Black Power Media gear, you can accomplish anything. You play any and every position. From coaching, to kicking, to receiving, to running and juking. And, oh my goodness, I see that again in slow motion. Get off me. And you're going to have a lot of haters coming at you, but what you got to do is you got to shake them off, and get to your goal and accomplish it. And when that's done, it's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about going hard, extra, for that extra point. And when it's done beautifully, you talking about touchdown. Oh, and the crowd goes wild and they're celebrating with you and everything. Man, let's see that again. Nice.
Black Power Media, baby. That's how we do it.
Now go to blackpowermedia.org and get you some of that gear. Empower yourself today. Yeah.
You got to earn your liberation.
What's up, world? Welcome to another edition of Earn Your Liberation right here in Black Power Media. Again, I'm Jared Ball, Diallo Kenyatta, Geechee Y'all, all in the building. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, jump on in. Don't be stingy. Share this stream with your friends and foes and invite them to come on in here and get some of this boom bap breakfast. What's up, fellas?
Morning. I can't see y'all.
You
can't see us. I mean, I can see everybody in translucent Jared. He looked like one of them chairs at the conference.
Y'all screens are completely black. What do you want from me?
Wait, Jared, you can see us?
I can hear you.
See everybody. I see and hear everybody. It doesn't sound like... I don't think Diallo has his mic on, but I see him.
I can hear Diallo.
All right. It sound better now?
There you go.
Yeah,
to make it more better now.
Yeah.
All right.
All y'all being affected by the dirty air and it's messing up y'all camera visuals and shit.
Well, no, actually today the air was lifted. Today was the first day since I've been back that it's fruit. We can go outside.
Oh, so y'all can taste the air again. Good job.
No, we can't. We can't. We still got warnings and whatnot.
Later on, because we're concerned, we're gonna check on everybody's in the chat's hometown to see what your air look like later on.
This is crazy. Both of y'all screens are black.
I see and hear everybody perfectly.
Well, that's all that matters. As long as
that's
you're
all
straight,
that matters. Yeah.
You know, like these Ivy League Negroes, these affirmative action. As long as I'm straight, everything's fine. Forget what the rest of y'all going through.
No, I ain't cut my hair.
Well, I must be the best looking white man in history, if that's in fact true. But I honestly don't know what to do. I got a new light I'm trying. I don't know if I can't get this. I can't get the I don't know. I can't get it any better. You know, good thing my beauty is just so strong. See, now
Hi, Yella.
What can I do?
Ain't there I can't remember the dude. There's a white man, some kind of character in some movie named White Man.
We off and running. We off and running with the chat.
Ice Spice. What's her hit song? Munch.
I don't know.
Munch. Stop asking questions you know the answer to.
No, I'll be mixing her up with the other lady who I don't know if I can say her lyrics, but yeah.
Sexy Red.
I don't know. She got the booty hole song. I don't know.
That's Sexy Red.
Yeah, I don't even know.
They don't look nothing alike.
I ain't never seen them. I can't tell you what they look like. I can just hear what I heard. Yeah, stress my hair.
So,
Diallo need to stop hating.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do about the light. I have to put my old light back up, I guess. But anyway, are we just leaving that comment up there? We just leaving the hate up there. Where did Geechee go? And then he left.
Oh, he must be back in the tropical paradise.
There you go. You still don't see us though?
No. Let me look on the actual YouTube channel so I can just make sure. See, I see you on YouTube. I see you. Oh, Lord. Lord. Jared. I'm just now saying, oh my goodness. Fingertips to chest and your lips are red. What in the world? Man, stop playing with them filters, man. Just let them stop playing with them filters, Jared.
There's really not much I can do right now unless this light is not working.
Wow.
It's not.
Oh, stop. Just stop, man. Listen. You and these other Instagram influencers, y'all be doing these filters. You're going to be, you know, just love yourself and accept the aging process.
So that's the problem that I have. I love myself so much that it's more, and it's so much more than so many other people that I don't accept their renditions of me.
Listen. We need to do a contest for who got the best Jared coming for Jared today.
Yeah, that's Jared's like, oh, they ain't giving out money to color folks no more. I'm going white.
I'm being white. Fuck it. I'm done.
Transracial. Listen, hey, yo.
2.5.
This ain't the way to get it, man. This ain't the way to freedom. Our people fought and struggled for too long.
The ball lost his melanin credential. Hey,
He just totally filtered. And I think because I made that, he mad because I made that joke about me being Michael and y'all being Jermaine and Tito.
Yeah,
so he's trying to beat me to the punch before I can make my announcement.
Nangala bleach.
Yeah, now Jared's about to go solo.
Yeah,
man. You better believe it. Y'all talking too much trash. I'm about to quit.
Don't quit.
I'm about to quit.
It's the chat.
Wow.
Fixed. Let me get my lights fixed.
Why y'all spring that on me? That ain't the lights, because lights ain't gonna make your
the ghost with the most. My guy.
Keep it coming. Everybody keep going.
All right, let me see if somebody
I really think I got an issue over here. What's up with that?
It's not. Oh no, you got an issue in here.
Hey, let me see if somebody can tie a joke in with his new book.
Oh, and the book coming out, of course.
Yeah,
it's all coming together.
Give him
to understand everything.
Give
the
him
book
a name.
about to drop. They didn't cut affirmative action. They're about to leave us, y'all.
We got the most creative. We got the most creative chat in the world. So
you better believe it.
Let's see if we can give him a name, about his complexion in his book at the same time.
Everything.
Seriously though, what happened? What is the thing? What is this? What is going on with the?
Wow.
Go ahead, get your jokes in. Everybody get them in. Get them in. Keep it coming.
We done.
And just remember, and just keep that same energy when the return fire comes for whoever. When I'm gonna go through the chat, I'm gonna go through the chat, and better nobody in the chat better never turn the camera on.
The greatest love of all.
The myth goes back.
Keep it coming. Keep going.
Love yourself.
Keep going,
brother.
Keep going. Keep going.
Look at ZZ. ZZ getting there too. ZZ, that ball signal is too dark. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah,
what kind of blackface
signal
ball
has been upgraded.
He doing blackface ball signals and shit, man. I don't know about y'all. Y'all gotta
Nah. Keep going. Why not learn, Ricky? Keep going. Don't chill. Powder, yeah. And remember what happened. Yeah, Cherie. Better never turn your camera on around here. None of y'all better never turn your camera on around here.
Nagala bleed.
I use no chemical if he look like a browning. And I use no filter to look like a browning.
Let's get to work.
My bleach.
No, I don't want to get to work. I want this to keep going. Because all this is doing is giving me permission.
Filter, he look like a browning.
Keep it coming. And just keep going. Keep going.
We gonna encourage boys. We gonna.
Damn right, I'm threatening. I'm threatening everybody.
Listen.
Get your jokes in.
Listen.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Hey, this is.
I'm just
Translucent.
what I want.
Casper.
Hey,
Listen.
Hey, Manning throwing the shot though. Manning leading, and I think Emma's second right now.
That ain't right.
You
That
better
ain't
believe it. You better believe it, Devin.
God, I hate it.
Because we've already seen what I think is funny though. Okay. Because we've already seen what happens. We already see what happens. And the chat can't handle when I get in there and get busy. So they didn't get it.
Listen, just because you look threatening people, you're out here.
You damn right. Because
where's your MAGA cap? Where's your MAGA cap, man? You out here threatening and
Hey, no, the beauty of it is all this trash talk is based on lights and tech. Some of y'all actually stuck in your
Blame
existence.
it on the rain.
Hey, we already know what it is. We already know what it is when I show up live and direct all this bright beauty out here. They can't handle it.
Hey, Jared, somebody trying to help you, man. See, no limit.
Every time a celebrity.
No,
You
it's
know,
not
they
the
always blame
stream.
the lighting.
It is. Well, obviously it's the lighting because everybody sees what it is.
Never said
You all see
I
what
got a
it
light
is.
on.
Fight back, Jared. Fight back. Swing back.
I am
at him.
swinging back. Wait, just wait. I want everybody to get it in.
Yeah,
Get it in.
I wasn't expecting this.
No, we already know that this is obviously, a lighting tech situation. But keep going, everybody.
Blaming the lights, man.
You damn right.
Hey, listen.
Right.
Damn, I
Cake
think
soap.
Man and the champ until we find a better one.
Cake soap.
You don't get no better than that.
Yeah. Enjoy yourselves.
For now, what about? Oh, look, black skin, white mask. Look it coming hard, Joe. It must be coming hard, Joe. No play no game.
But notice Emma's picture is a cat. We don't know what Emma looked like. Emma ain't
White
putting no
niches.
pictures of herself up here. I dare you.
White niches.
Nobody up
Listen,
here
man.
prettier than me. You
Don't
already
get
know
me-
what it
listen,
is.
Last week,
First of all,
we're in Atlanta.
Go ahead, Kai.
that
I'm
Atlanta
good.
got to you.
Huh?
ATL done got to you, man.
Yeah.
Man.
ATL.
yeah, you had too many. You had one too many drinks, man. You had one too many drinks, one too many daps.
Okay.
I done rubbed off on you, bro.
Keep going. I'm here for another couple hours. I think this is the bulk of the show.
Man, we'll be going
Now,
there, man.
He went and auditioned for a Tyler Perry movie and got rejected. So now he's having some
We forgot to take the makeup off.
identity issues.
Yo, earn your melatonin. What? Wait.
Melanation.
Oh, melanation. This guy.
Lord.
He got a Rachel
mercy.
Dolezal. Hey, Diallo, they keep renaming your homegirl, man. They keep-
Raphael.
Man, that queen, Diallo.
Siphon up. All right, man. Let's go, man. Where we going to BoyceWatkins?
No, I actually wanted to
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wanted to say something about the only thing that's not true. The only thing I think I will say right now, and I hope everybody watched Coco's Confronting Contradictions last night.
I caught the
There's a lot I want to say, and I have been biting my tongue for years. And will continue to do so because not everything is my story to tell. And not everything pertains to me specifically. But I will say from what I saw in some of the chat last night that none of you know what has gone on around here. None of you. Not one single one of you. And the reason I know this with this much confidence is because none of you have talked to me privately and in detail So I know none of you have, and I haven't shared it. So I know if I haven't shared it, you can't have the full story. That said, there's a lot of movement on speculation, a lot of people moving on speculation and an absence of information and an absence of context. So Coco, I think to the extent I understood her, was exactly right when she told everybody, stop trying to put my situation with everybody else's. And with all that Coco shared, and it was wonderful, even that isn't the whole situation with her situation. So that's all. I would just invite people to consider and ask themselves humbly, how much do I really know about the situation? And then reconsider some of what I saw was some of the response. People said they left BPM because they didn't see certain people appearing anymore, as if they understood why. That's whack. So I'll leave it there for now. I other than to say one other thing that I do, again, I appreciate what Coco is doing. Even where I will at least speak for myself, as we have spoken, I don't pretend to claim to understand everything, and I don't pretend to fully agree with everything. But I appreciate her very much. And Coco, you in the chat, I appreciate what you did very much last night. So, and I think that level of difficulty needs to be met by more of us. So anyway, I'll stop there for now. I don't know if either of you wanted to say anything about any of that, if you saw what you saw, but yeah.
I'm completely lost.
Okay.
Now, you know me, man. I told y'all from the day I got to Atlanta, I don't know nothing about this Hatfield and McCoy stuff y'all got going on. I'm only here for positivity, upliftment, love. I'm not here for nothing. Y'all know me. I'm that spiritual brother who's all about embracing love and non-confrontation.
And there goes Geechee. All right. There it is.
See, you start talking.
Soon as y'all start talking that shit, I was like, nah, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm out of here. No, but I mean, I think to expect, folks to gravitate towards personalities, voices, and shit like that is just gonna happen.
I don't understand words like folks and personalities. I mean, if y'all not naming names. No, I can't.
No. I'm talking about in general, people who watch content, especially with multiple people, and this is anybody. They're gonna gravitate towards personalities, people who got different ideas, and that's just how it's gonna be. And sometimes people not even gonna give the opportunity to hear both sides or hear a nuance.
Y'all still speaking in code. I don't know. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna pretend.
Well, I mean. How many people in the chat can you name, though? How many people that watch your content?
Is it just a chat? Listen, me and Beyonce, we into names.
Well, I think in person, you got a better chance of, talking to people and talking to different people and get different people's perspectives. But online, when nobody knows you, it's easy to kind of like gravitate to, which I understand. I understand to a certain extent that gravitating towards personalities and people you like, people who do work that you respect. It's kind of like giving.
Y'all still speaking in code. Let me just.
Here you go.
Well, Coco described from her perspective her issues with what had gone on this past week with the remix and what she's describing as liberal feminism. In the chat, there was speculation about why Dr. CBS and Layla Brown were no longer on the platform. And all I can say is that the speculation is just that. And they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And for even one person, which I did see at least one, say that they had at least temporarily left BPM because they didn't see those sisters here, I think speaks to so much of the problems that we have movement-wide about people not being willing to confront contradictions, to address directly and with some humility other people or certain topics, and just to admit what they don't know. So, by the way, even if someone had talked to me about everything, doesn't mean that they would have the full story. So the problem is that I've had, at least, that so much of these issues do involve contexts and people beyond just me. Were I the only one involved, or were just my business, I would have been laid all this out. I find this very difficult to not put it all out on the table. And I had hoped at one point that that's where it was all headed, because I'm very much like Daruba. Everything but tactics and strategy should be on the table. Everything. And I'm with that. By the way, Daruba's going to be here Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss that. And I think Sister Jackie's joining me and us for that one. So anyway, that part frustrated me. I loved what Coco was doing. I loved what I think she's trying to do. I did not love what I saw in some of the chat and found that part very difficult last night. And I don't really know what else that would be appropriate for me to say at this point, other than I really, really wish we could put it all out. So anyway, I just wish people would give us a little more as a platform. I think we deserve collectively more credit for what we've been trying to do, and I think we deserve a little more credit and time to work through some things. Okay.
Last time I was talking about people in the chat or comments, like if they came on and kind of speak face to face or something like that, Diallo accused me of some gangster shit. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if what? I'm just saying that people, like, sometimes people in the comments and chats, like, they don't have themselves on platforms and talking for people to critique, which I understand. Some people want to stay behind, but I think sometimes it's a good idea to, like, just bring the shit to at least here. Like, if you're not going to approach somebody and meet somebody in the streets, at least come on and articulate what you're saying or trying to say, as opposed to the little keyboard hustling. So
stop it. Don't say streets. Meet at the coffee shop.
Well, okay. Starbucks or
no. There's
what's Pinky Spot? What's Pinky Spot? Bar Vegan, somewhere like that.
Vegan.
Shout out to ZZ. Somewhere. Meet at church.
Don't say streets though. That has certain connotations.
Okay. On the road. That's better. The road.
I don't know if this addresses what Geechee is saying. We've done call-in segments. The issue for me would be if someone came on here and expressed what was being expressed in the chat, I still wouldn't be able to respond properly, because it's not only my business and story and issues to bring up. So I would have to be just as circumspect if someone was, yeah. So that's the issue I have. I find it very difficult, and I just wish, I'm a little bit Cedric the Entertainer. I wish people would say something more publicly. Take what you want from BPM, be principled and focused on organizing. Thank you to the cat in the red scarf.
There you go. Shout out to Stokely Carmichael.
Yeah, happy belated birthday. Yeah.
Organize.
Okay. Yeah, we already went through all that today. There's nothing I could do about it.
They end affirmative action. We're going to have a lot of black folks. Since affirmative action's over, what's the point of being black?
Fuck that. Clarence Thomas.
I agree. I'm, been trying to get away ever since, for years. I'm ahead of the game. And now that it's over, that's why I got new lights.
Oh, well, I hope that clarifies it. I'm even more confused than I was before, but for everybody else, I guess, hope that clarifies that for y'all.
So what was y'all take away from the conference? Like, how did you enjoy that? What What was some highlight moments, standout stuff?
You know,
seeing how short you are in relationship to me and Diallo. That's what
Listen,
that was the
I done
highlight.
told both of y'all. Y'all need to stop using AI technology because me and Dr. Ming already proved that y'all spread too much propaganda and I'm sickly. I'm tired of it.
All I can say is if you all see the pictures where all of our shoulders and heads are more or less equal, you notice you can't see nobody's feet.
At this point, it's fake news. Don't even worry about.
Never see Geechee's feet.
Don't even worry about what these guys talking about.
Well,
David, you late. You late.
Me no powder man.
The picture
Me no
is
lotion,
David.
me no lotion man. Me no powder man.
It's still prettier than all you motherfuckers out here.
See, there it is.
There it is.
You gonna grow out your pinky nail?
Goddamn right.
And start carrying one of them straight razors.
Apparently,
You're
the
getting a
only
little
one
too
with
into
good
this.
eyes and sense is Shirley. So that's apparent.
Anyway, I was
Shirley.
thoroughly impressed.
Shirley.
Back to recent.
No, go ahead.
I was thoroughly impressed by the conference. I think that the speakers panels were very well curated.
Mm-hmm.
I went there with low expectations and high hateration, and I have to admit, I was pressed to find things to hate on, which was, probably the low point of the conference. Oh, I did find something to hate on. I don't think the vegan food with the vegan
that was the problem.
options were well represented.
Yeah, y'all did us dirty.
That was a problem.
Y'all had me running up to the white folks' neighborhoods to get food from the conference.
I had to circulate the black dollar because they didn't want to act right.
Yeah, I had to go.
We had to support a black capitalist
in a Pan-African radical revolutionary conference, and then I had to go to Lily White Land to get some good vegan food. Now that ain't right.
Yeah. That was a little rough.
But
God.
Other than that, man, the information, the networking, I saw so many people that I look up to, so many people that I admire at the conference, met some new people, even ran into haters, the people that hate my guts and had the opportunity to tell me to my face how they didn't like me. So that was even, I think was a good thing. So like Geechee said, we was in the streets, we was face to face. And some people were able to express to me their ill will or their disfavor or their issues with my position. So I'm very happy for it all. All the smoke, and some of that smoke followed me back here to Chicago, which is why I've been stuck in the house for 3 days. So overall, I'd give the conference a 9.5 out of 10, and I have to take away that 0.5. Yeah, and let me not hate. It's on the sister. I don't want to be like Jared and talking hate, But yeah, I went to Slutty Vegan. That was the first place I went to.
Oh,
and I didn't go back.
Yeah, listen, we went to Slutty Vegan, and once Diallo left, we went to Bar Vegan. So Pinky did give us some good food, and she even tried to give us LLC. So
yeah, mad people sent me suggestions for food like on the day before the last day. They were like, go here, go there. I got all this. I got even invite for people to come and cook for me. It was really wonderful, but they waited till I was leaving to send me all the list of the good Ethiopian and other vegan spots aside from Slutty Vegan.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I got it in my phone now.
They sent me the same thing, and they sent it on Friday.
I had a good list.
Or Saturday. And they said if they had more time, they would invite us and cook for us.
Yeah, they did. But like I said, that was real slick because they waited till the last day to send the invitation. Which is cool because next time folks come to Chicago, I'm going to do that. Like, oh, when you leaving? Tomorrow. Damn, I was going to invite you over to eat and cook for you tomorrow. Next time, I'm going to pull that. That's a cool trick.
So
anyway, I'll be back to ATL and I'm going to take up all the invitations. I'm showing up at everybody's house. I'm pulling up for food, vegan food. Now, I'm not pulling up like Geechee be pulling up.
There we go.
Well, Ear Doctor set me up, and then Geechee tried to put it to another level, because when we left the restaurant we were at, and after I spilled my wine all over Kamau, everybody, you know, but it was the same thing, and I admit I was getting animated over the conversation that was tangentially brought up last night. And I'm not happy with these narratives. These narratives, they're incomplete. And I'm frustrated by it. And I'm personally hurt by it. I'm not going to front. So I got a little animated, accidentally spilled some wine.
And he Jesus flipped the table over. So Jared and Jesus got some shit in common.
I did want to. I'm not going to front. I absolutely wanted to. But the point I'm getting at is that we walk out, and I didn't realize. First of all, we in this little she spot. Come out with his she nonprofit friends and family, and then we step outside, and then you tell me, "Oh, that's Killer Mike's barbershop." We in the hood. So I took a little selfie in front of the joint.
He's like, roll up, man.
And posted, and everybody was like, "Oh, you got to take it down. Killer Mike gonna misinterpret that. You gonna get thumped up. People gonna attack you." Geechee out there talking about, "Oh, I pulled up. Jared pulled up. Look at it. Where you at, Mike?" And I was like, "Come on, man."
I ain't say all that.
Your comment was a little bit in that direction, so I was like, you know. But I do.
We outside.
Yeah, it was like we outside, and then I got a whole bunch of messages saying, you know, you don't mess with Mike. It's not just Mike, it's his people. And I was like, man, I don't. So all right, I took it down. And similarly, I'm gonna share this while we at it. I took this down too, because I got the similar response from my bars. That people said,
oh,
said,
word?
Might just talk about me.
Y'all should have posted my bars. Y'all was hating.
You could have posted them.
No,
people told me to take it down, and the number one person that made me take it down was my oldest daughter, because she said she looked at me with disappointment in her eyes and said, "You wrote a diss track to a rapper." And I said, "But it's bars, and he's talking about me." At least that's what a couple people said.
What she asked you though? She said, "Is you 5 or 50?"
She said she did. She said, "Are you 5 or 50?" I said, "Oh man, let me take it down.
Lord.
Let me take it down."
She the one with the bars.
That's why I'm glad I didn't jump in on this beef, man. Cause y'all can't unbeef.
I know you can't. You can't. If I take it down, it's not unbeefing.
No debeef.
Yeah, you made me pull back my bars because I ain't
right. See, that's the thing. That's why I'm glad I didn't even get in it. Because if I got in it, I'm staying in it.
I guess we can get in the phone, Diallo. We could just throw our bars in there, take the heat for.
But it is true. Like, I don't want no smoke. I don't have no crew. I don't have no army. So I don't want no, But
man, listen,
what you need about it for an hour. Mike, Killer Mike,
Cuddly
you
Mike.
should have seen the messages I was getting.
Cuddly Mike.
You don't know about this dude.
I can only anticipate who
you call him. Cuddly. Run out here in Chicago talking trash about the fruit of his life.
I don't talk trash. Listen, man. Listen, I just tell the truth. And if somebody has some counter arguments or some contradictory evidence, I'm happy to hear it. I wish I was wrong about everything I said about every black person. Dr. Umar, cult leader Farrakhan. I wish I was wrong about everybody. So if you can demonstrate that I'm wrong about Cuddly Mike and my positions and conclusions and analysis about Cuddly Mike, I will take it then. And I was like, man, I was wrong. He's not the piece of shit I thought he was. So yeah, but I'm saying shit. The U.S. Constitution, they took away my affirmative action, but I still believe I have the right to freedom of speech. What's the point of having a right if you don't exercise it? And all these people, man, and it's real curious to me how a lot of these groups and all of these people, talk all this, you can't do this, you can't do this, and all these people claiming to be revolutionary ain't touched none of the enemies, ain't put a finger on the oppressor, but everybody in their community that they supposed to be serving is intimidated by him. I ain't never met a white person, a Jewish person that was scared of the nation or expressed to me that they had some fear or intimidation of the fruit of Islam. And every black community I go to, people don't mess with the Muslims. So, you know, I ain't with that. If the only people that are in any way intimidated or have to think twice about saying something or being critical of you is your own community, you are not for the people. People say all kind of stuff about Bro Diallo. People out here call it. Yeah, I don't hang with them, but I watch them.
Jews are shut. Jews are out here terrified, Diallo.
Please, okay, send them my way. I could, you know, I can have some scary Jew consultation services. They got all the gold, right? And I will tell them you ain't got nothing to fear, because I from what I see of the NOI and the FOI body count, ain't no Caucasus Mountain cave dwelling devils on their body count. So
hey, we not living up to the
my
vegan,
way.
We not living up to the non-vegan, non-angry vegan standards.
See,
all I'm saying is like all these
solved everything.
Not fucking around coalition, all these armed, militant, aggressive black militant organizations. And if I go in the community and the only people I see that are afraid of you, the only people I see that are scared of you are your own people. You know. So I gotta call it. No, I don't fear anybody that claims they fighting for black people and on the side of black people. Why should I fear you? Even if I have a critique, even if I have disagreement, you know, even if I have other conclusions, even if I call your name out, why should I fear you? No black person on the face of this earth has anything to fear from me, you know, unless you doing me direct and immediate harm. You know, nobody should fear me. People talk about me all the time, you know. And I'm sure, if people walking around, don't say nothing about Black Power Media. Don't criticize Black Power Media. You better watch it. They got people out here. Then we doing something wrong. We can't claim to be for the people. So if you can't call out Killer Mike, who makes his positions and views public, who advocates for particular policies in the community, and who is a public figure, and people telling you, don't post pictures of his publicly advertised facility. You hustling backwards. You can't claim to be for the people.
I mean, Kemp was out there.
Well, to be fair, the messages I were getting were always not that it's Mike that would do something. It's that his disciples.
If that's the type of people you're attracting to people. Mm-hmm. If y'all see me out here critiquing somebody, you and Geechee ain't like, let's go put this dude in a headlock. So if those are the type of people that are resonating with you, if the kind of people, if you got these male groupies, instead of having allies, instead of having comrades, you got these violent male groupies, you got these violent disciples around you, then you are wrong. And you need to reconsider. If I had people out here putting hands on other black people in my name, I'd be like, I'm doing something wrong. What I'm teaching, what I'm advocating, what I'm resonating in my community is dead ass wrong. So you can't run from that. If somebody, cause it ain't Killer Mike, that's what all these cult leaders and demagogues do. It's called stochastic terrorism. Trump didn't storm the Capitol, but Trump is responsible for storming the Capitol. We got too many of these goddamn demagogues in our community, and instead of liberating and empowering us, they're intimidating and exploiting us, and we act like they're powerful. That's not power. That's some bitch ass shit. You know? Mm-hmm. You intimidating oppressed population. That you compounding the oppression we have to endure. And people all the time like, you in Chicago talking about Farrakhan. And I'm like, show me something I said that was incorrect about Farrakhan and I'll apologize. Yeah. Show me anything any criticism I've leveled against that cult leader. Tell me anything I've said about the religion of Islam, the impact of Islam, the history of Islam. Show me anything I said that's incorrect, that's not historical, that can't be tied to material reality, and I will take it back. And I'll go to the nearest mosque,
didn't it?
Yes, I'll go to the nearest mosque and bump my head on the floor. I'll be face down, ass up, facing the east. If you can tell me what I was wrong.
This guy.
Pause and rewind, because I'll say it again.
No,
it ain't me.
No, that's real. That's real.
I don't like the fact that if a brother want to post a picture of a barbershop in public and people are like, oh, don't do that because something might happen to you. How many times we gonna go through this shit? How many of our leaders gonna get taken down by people who look just like us, chased out of their own cities? I've been on the internet talking for a while. Yeah, some of the things I might say might be colorful, but it's accurate. I've never threatened anybody. I've never pointed a gun, and I say at a point of pride, I've never had to point a gun at anybody, you know. And the only time you see me engaging in any level of violence, it's in myself, in defense of myself or in defense of other vulnerable people. That's the only time I've engaged in violence. And people around me know that. Don't mess with vulnerable people. Don't exploit, don't attack people that don't deserve it in my presence, and don't attack me. And when you could think or believe whatever the hell you want, and you can articulate it however you want. And if I don't like it, I'll just get away from you. People talking about, you know, this is shitty as hell, like I said. And all these guns I see all over the internet, all this RBG, Revolutionary Huey P. Newton Gun Club, and the only people I ever see being intimidated or disrupted by all this weaponry are other black people. There are other black people. We got skinheads and neo-Nazis and Uncle Toms and people maneuvering and freely going about their day without one thought about one black militant. And like you said, you know some Jewish people that are disrupted or intimidated by the Nation of Islam. Point me to them. I don't. Point me to them. Because in all my life, in all my life, everybody I've ever heard express fear, intimidation, or who are taken aback or scared to articulate something they know or scared to move is black people in relationship to these militant organizations.
Who could feel threatened by this right here?
I mean,
I just thought it was funny.
And I actually didn't realize, you know, I know it's in the hood.
That's a corny ass name too.
But it was Swag Shop, but I didn't realize that he had the little gate, the metal gates up there. So I actually didn't realize that.
Diallo, idealism gets people hurt.
See that kind of shit. Who does it get hurt? Who does it get hurt? Because I know.
Well, I mean, the reality is people.
There's some people.
What you're saying is right about in terms of you are correct in the analysis, but it is also true that people do act on this stuff. People do dumb stuff and hurt people off of
and they should be exposed for it. And one of the things that allows them to hurt people is the fact that other people remain silent about it. The fact that other people. I remember Dr. Clark. And going to see Dr. Clark, and Dr. Clark is like, I can't speak on that because I need a bulletproof vest. If I was going to speak on that, I'd need a 6-pack of beer and a bulletproof vest. They're intimidating our scholars from teaching us the truth. And the reason they're able to hurt people is because too many of us remain silent. You know, and if we ain't willing to liberate ourselves internally, if we ain't willing to face risk internally, how we going to face? You can't face the dude with a few hitters. We not willing to speak out against the dude, the tyrants in our community, but we gonna face the tyrants with the nukes. How does that translate? We gonna get punked out by these goons and these fanatics. And I'm not even talking about the gangsters and the hustlers. And I'm just talking about the people who claim to be down for black people. We won't even speak up and confront the people who claim to fight for us. So how are we going to speak up and confront the people who go against us? And I'm not idealism. I'm not into idealism. I am rational. I am facts-based. There's nothing I advocate that can't be backed up by historical precedent. And if you talking about idealism gets people hurt, show me from black people where the idealism of white supremacy for a white person to be thinking that they are superior and they should inherit the earth and they could dominate, rule the earth, destroy ecosystems and rip out all the resources and continually stack profits indefinitely. The idealism, nothing's more idealistic and utopian than capitalism. So why ain't none of them being hurt? Why Elon Musk is the idealist talking about Mars colonies? Why ain't his idealism? No, it ain't idealism that gets people hurt. It's anti-blackness. It's self-hatred. It's internalized anti-blackness is what get people. It's patriarchy and hyper and toxic masculinism that's getting people hurt. It's not idealism.
So back to the
everything but the true problem.
Back to the conference, Jared. Your experience at the conference. Any favorite? I'm obviously your panel. You're on mute right now, but I know your panel was pretty powerful. But any top panels out there? No people was hurt at the conference, by the way.
Some feelings were hurt.
You're on mute, Jared.
Some feelings were hurt.
I got my Claudia from Claudia shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So is it Doctor? She should be. Dr. Claudia De La Cruz gave me this shirt, shouting out Claudia Jones. So my Claudia from Claudia.
Where y'all bands?
Oh, my bands, yeah, over there.
Mine is over there somewhere. I only got one. I was only there for so that's what I said. What I said yesterday during the remix is really my biggest problem is one that I created for myself, and only being there for a day. Why Diallo and Geet? What was the question?
So
why Diallo and Geet? You get the conference invite and not Kalanji's organization.
Who put that up? Did Diallo put that up there?
Kami Hilfiger. Oh no, I didn't put it up there.
I would just keep my hands where y'all can see it.
So
I would just keep both my hands.
I'll answer. I answer first. So the conference that was planned
I'm gonna do the rest of the show like this.
The conference that was planned for Coco, you can even put in the chat how long it was planned for. But that conference that was planned that long, I registered and Diallo registered, and so technically we wasn't invited either, but we registered. And
the whole time I was waiting on Kalanji to throw a trash can through the window, like do the right thing.
Radio Raheem. Yeah, so anyway.
Kalanji Raheem. I'm like, what is going down? What mess have y'all called me into?
Listen. That's my example. So who was that? Who was that?
Real House Revolutionaries of Atlanta.
Who was that to ask that question?
Kami Hilfiger.
So I'm saying like people
Love
like that.
The Revolution at Atlanta.
Diallo never stopped talking. But
y'all
people
invited
like
me to a reality show.
Probably come and lay out their question more thoroughly and engage as opposed to like, boom, just throwing that out there. But anyway, eventually I think we'll have the conversation.
Well, the question was answered on the remix. I don't know how people feel about the
it was
how satisfied they are, but that issue was discussed, and they said, Kalanji and Kamal have their own set of issues, and that's what it was. And we have basically a tentative agreement that we will rock together on BPM, and that's going to be it.
We got to pick a side. Whose side you on, Jared? Whose side you on, Geechee? Everybody got to pick a side.
You're
side?
Terrible. I'm on
the side of the Lord.
Are you a Hatfield or a McCoy?
I'm on the side of the Lord.
Okay, cop out.
So speaking, I'm on the side of BPM, and speaking for
myself, another cop out, man.
That's not a cop out. That's not a cop out.
The people, I sent it to the people.
Let me stop.
Because I understand both sides, but again, it's the same thing, and it was a little bit. There's only a slight misfortune in that the issue came up. All of these issues just don't get, there's not enough time and context, and it involves so many more than are involved on the screen at the time. So even when it was discussed yesterday or the other day on the remix, there's so much that it goes unsaid because it would involve other people being brought in. Mm-hmm. And just speaking for myself, I would like to have handled a number of different things differently. And I think had I handled a number of things differently, we wouldn't be in this situation. And I'm just going to leave it there. And it's the same way I feel. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was actually about to say, so even as I see, there's a couple of familiar names that I see in the comments, and this is kind of the point. Like, so if the post is made and there's no context to what's happening and there's no balanced side, people just emotionally react to what they're reading on the post. And they can even start talking shit about the nameless or nameless person and not even know the context. But then, come today and kind of like, oh, shit, I didn't even know this was going on. But it's like if you react to a post that you don't even know the full context. It's kind of like that's kind of the problem.
And there was a lot of that going on at the conference, and that's another part of this, what's unfortunate. And there was and that's one of the reasons that I was getting animated at dinner, is that because when the question was put to me, the context, the narrative was already flawed. And I admit frustration over that. And I have pent up multi-year frustration over that. And a lot of good people are operating on insufficient information and making a whole lot of decisions based on it, and a lot of speculation.
Can I ask a question, though?
Of course.
If the people lack information and the people lack context about these internal issues, whose fault is that? Now, if you can point them to say, hey, here's the information over here, and here's the context here, now make your decision. But if it is, and I'm not saying that it is or isn't, this is a legit, a sincere question. Whose fault is it that so many people lack context and information?
I mean, I think it's twofold. I think it could be the person who is putting out maybe half of the information, right? So if something is not even public and somebody puts a half of the story out, or their version of the story out, then, I mean, they could be mostly responsible. But I guess the reaction of the people who are reading it, you know, I guess a principal way to read it is okay, acknowledge it, but then probably want to hear other sides before you come to conclusions or judgment. And kind of like what Jared was saying earlier, like if people saying they left because this happened and they ain't even heard the story, they ain't even heard all sides, then, you know, I think
I don't even know in that case that they heard any story. They just saw people weren't here and just dipped. I don't know. But
I'm pretty sure they heard some shit. But
well, like I said, you didn't hear from me, so it's wrong. It's incomplete by definition. I'm just straight up. If it pertains to the situation around here, if you didn't include, if my perspective was not involved, it's incomplete. And but the reverse would also be true. So that's why I'm saying it's the problem that I keep having with all this is that all the parties involved are not able to, willing, whatever, to publicly sit down and lay it all out. And I can't express enough how much I would love for that to happen, but it can't. It can't, because people's feelings will get hurt. People will be embarrassed. Their public images would be distorted, if not destroyed. So it's not going to happen. So we all just got to sit with this. I feel like I got to sit with this. But to go specifically to your question, Diallo, the absence of context is ultimately collectively BPM's fault. I feel responsible for that. And I'm frustrated by that as well. So I'm not blaming people for not having the context. I'm frustrated that I saw people making decisions when they know they don't have the context. And that's what I would hope we would be able collectively to get to a point where people individually can say, I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So let me not make a concrete decision based on the fact that I don't know what's going on. And yes, to Ricky's point, well, Ricky said that I promise that the actual conference was not any of this. I don't know if I could fully agree with that. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, whispered. There was a lot of conversations. So I don't know about that. But the conference, so anyway, that said, the conference was great. As I said yesterday, it was great to see everybody. It was great to see people in the flesh and to have them reflect back to us collectively what good BPM is doing. Mm-hmm. It was good to meet people. It was good, as Bungie said on our panel, it was good for, in this instance, for two of us who had an issue to speak in person directly off the record with no mic and no camera and no entourages and crews and no, and we got clear and we moved on and we're going to be better for it and we're going to be working together again. So that kind of stuff I think is beautiful. The panels I think were dope. The selected speakers, phenomenal. Even the maybe one or two where I didn't agree or whatever, it didn't matter. It was great. The and just quickly, the couple of suggestions that I've heard that from others that I fully agree with would include building in space in future gatherings like this for there to be more collective off-record, off-mic, no BPM streaming, no phones in the room even. Like, I would like to see stuff like that. And then similarly, on the other end, more social, we were talking about ear doctor spinning some music in the background and people just being able to hang out, cook out, hang out, whatever. Really get to build beyond just panels and clicks and stuff like that. And then, as Diallo already said, we need to have more vegan options so people are less likely to leave, which of course keeps everybody in the same spaces, which I think is very important. And I think that's it. And then some movement, some yoga, some stuff like that. I think that was the only other suggestion that I really appreciated in terms of what didn't happen. But that said, I big shout out to the organizers. I think they did a great job. There's more to build on.
I think it was an excellent. If I had to rate it, I've been to dozens. I'm ashamed to say how many conferences I've been to, and this is one of the best.
I agree with that.
I mean, it's up there. I went to this conference and the Racial Justice Conference were the two best conferences, most enlightening conferences I've attended. I've gotten the most from. So it was great.
We did. Me, Geechee, Ear Doctor, and Dr. Prosper went and hung out a little bit, and she messed my head up. I'm not gonna front. Dr. Prosper is dope, and she gave me some things to think about that at least changed a little bit of the way that I'm thinking about a couple things. I haven't fully gotten to a complete change in my attitude toward it all yet, but I like the challenge that she put to me to step back, step out of my emotions and anger and reflect a little bit more than I had been on how other people might be seeing certain things. What I can't get to is that I can't get to the part where recognizing other people's perspectives helps me better understand or justify or accept their behavior. That's the part I'm still stuck at. I'm
stuck in on personalizing shit that you don't need to be personalized. But yeah.
Well, that part in this case doesn't work because it was done to me. In this case, we're talking about something that was done to me by someone I was very close with for a very long time. So that is personal.
Well,
but in trying to understand why they might have done it, I really appreciate what Dr. Prosper was saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How I'm going to accept it, I don't know about all that. I'm not there yet. I'm like, God damn, because I was done so wrong. Yeah. But anyway.
So, I mean, before we get into some of the work and Boyce and the Supreme Court action, I one of the things that I appreciate is too, like you said, for me is for Jalil Muttaqim to walk up to me and even start telling us how important the show has been and what it's doing was kind of like mind blowing. I'm like, I'm studying this dude years, and him even acknowledging me. I know that's probably some weird fan shit, but it was like,
no, I think that's dope.
Yeah, Shantae Austin too. I just wasn't expecting that, and then I do appreciate the fact that I got some young people in Charleston who doing their best to, create radical spaces, and also in Charlotte, and for them to be able to come up and experience a room full of dope ass people. That's I can't. I mean, a few of them actually we've been talking ever since, and they're like still on the high. So I think that's creating that space was dope as shit. So I appreciate.
I got my fanboy moment too. I'm glad you remind me of that. When
I appreciate Coco, Tunde, and everybody else who put their blood, sweat into that. That was a dope space. I think the kids had a ball. Like, it was good to see them, enjoying themselves and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think we obviously need spaces like that continuously, and just to build, and also to see, I saw Latif and ZZ Line, a lot of these people from the chat. Like, actually, I would have never even known or seen their face, and just seeing their face and connecting with them. And sometimes it's weird for people to be like, "Yo, what's up?" And because I don't really like much attention. So, but it was definitely
we don't miss any.
Build with people.
Oh, we haven't missed any. We just haven't we haven't gotten to them all yet. We've been acknowledging them. No, but to that point, a shout out to Jihad Abdul Mamit, Ashanti Alston. They positively rolled up on me and did the same thing in terms of appreciation. What we're trying to do. That was very much
same thing.
That was dope. That was dope. I appreciate it.
But no haters rolled up on y'all like they did me.
No, you only got the hater rolled up.
Yeah.
Fanatical Muslim rolled down on you.
Technically, you roll up on the hater, but we semantics.
You let him
Olive
know you
branch.
were there.
That was only after being snarled at for a whole day. So the next day,
folks don't like olives. Chill out.
I was getting meme bugged.
Martinis.
I got like 4 gallons of Palestinian olive oil downstairs because of my staunch anti-Zionism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you be getting some weird
post that, huh? I get gifts, man.
I see.
That's how I get the love.
You better be careful.
Stuff.
All that shit you be talking. You better be careful, brother.
I'm mad careful. I'm mad.
So where we going at? We going Boyce first, or we going to the Clarence? Hey, you know what? After reading about Clarence Carter. Dr. Maleficent,
Clarence Carter.
Not Clarence Carter. You know what I'm talking about. I keep calling him Clarence Carter. Clarence Thomas. Dr. Maleficent called you on this one because he sound like you now. So I don't know if y'all want to go there first or y'all want to go to Boyce.
It's up to you. I'm good. Whatever you all want to do.
Well, Boyce should be short because I think it's kind of whack. So. And
at some point, I do want to. I would like to talk about Do the Right Thing too.
Yeah.
Being the anniversary of it dropping in theaters. But if we can, just
do the whack thing.
That too. Wait. Just quick. Thanks, Wise to the Dome. Peace to the family of my early morning coffee on Fridays. Dr. Ball, you got bars. I do.
His bars ain't better than mine. We actually should put out.
We haven't seen yours yet, so there's no evidence.
Mine is ready to be posted at any time.
Man, listen. If we not gonna drop the track, then what?
We dropping the track.
There was question about passing on the baton to the next generation. How do y'all think we close the gap? What does the next generation need to do to step up? Oh boy.
Don't you want my answer to that? Because I say like
I
Dick
do.
Gregory.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your answer?
I'm gonna say like Dick Gregory. Because when my generation was the one going up to Dick Gregory's generation, asking him to, and he said, don't nobody pass the baton to nobody. He's like, y'all didn't need a baton to have a freak Nick. Y'all don't need a baton to go do y'all shit y'all want to do. So if you want to make revolution, go make revolution. But don't tell me I got to stop making revolution because I'm old. So I'm going to stay in this struggle. I'm going to hold down my position in the struggle, and you get in where you fit in. That passing baton is empty rhetoric. Now, when you want to talk about formal organization and formal organizational structure, don't join an organization that has leadership for life. That's a cult. So when you join an organization, it's not about passing baton. It's about transference of power. Now, we can discuss the transference of power in terms of if you have an organization that has a chairman or some type of hierarchy, there should always be ongoing transitioning of people taking that position, whether it's through a democratic process or an appointment process or whatever. There should always be, leaders should always be vulnerable to the will of those they lead. But as far as joining the movement in the more abstract sense, in terms of getting active, in terms of taking and making yourself known and your presence known within the larger generation struggle, ain't nobody passing you a baton. Stand up and take it. Take your position. Because like Dick Gregory said, for all that bullshit y'all do, y'all don't say, well, when can I get out here and twerk? I don't have the twerk baton. If it ain't no thugging baton, they don't be like, oh, when can I start out here with the strap? Blah, blah. Ain't no thugging baton. Y'all just, the young people just start doing what they want to do. But whenever it comes to the movement, whenever it comes to the struggle, whenever it comes to organization and consciousness, people act like they can't move until somebody give them a baton. Join the revolution. Ain't no revolutionary baton. I'm that mess.
Similar to what your point, but so at least two things. One, I very much am like the late Glenn Ford on this. I'm less inclined to think that first the issue is generational when it's really political. There are older radicals, younger radicals, older treacherous liberals, younger treacherous liberals. I think it's less generational than political. The other thing is, at least one other thing, is similar to what Diallo was saying, there is no organized eldership that can organize in an organized way, pass anything on to an organized youth. So at best, you're getting individual relationships or small pockets of relationships where things might be passed on, or some jegna-ship might be taking place and bringing people along. But in general, it's more haphazard at this point. So then lastly, I do agree. Well, I agree with the idea that nobody should be waiting for anybody. Get involved, get busy, politically educated, and put in the work. But I am becoming a cliche in another way as I get older. And I think, and the more I've been spending lately as a quiet attendee, sort of I've been, as in my mid-age crisis, going back to my early, like regressing to a mean in a certain sense in terms of activism, I've been spending more time as a quiet participant or quiet attendee in organizational spaces than I have in a long time. And I'm reminded that when I was in my head putting myself through an academic, or not academic, an activist boot camp of sorts, I spent a lot of time quiet, reading, studying, being in the back of a room, not saying nothing, not having to always. So in other words, I would like to see some balance between youthful get in where you fit in and a humility of recognizing I am new, I am inexperienced, I am underexperienced, underinformed, and I need to learn. We're being encouraged more than ever for everybody to run out here and do something to get some attention and not really build and not really spend the time doing the hard, quiet work like most people did just this past weekend for the conference. That's the kind of thing. So, anyway, so a little bit of my thoughts into that quick. I don't know. Geechee, did you want to, or any other?
No. Study some shit. But let's go to BoyceWatkins.
And I asked questions of people who were demonstrating seniority and expertise in an area. I mean, that's anyway. But anyway,
Diallo,
okay.
Diallo on mute. But it's good because you.
Because you're trying to move on. And trying to stay on the television.
You were jumping in anyway. Go ahead.
I'm
real
all
quick.
For you.
Sorry, I thought no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I was gonna quickly make an announcement about something, changing the subject, but go ahead if you had more on that.
Oh no, let's move on there. I think we beat this. The bottom line is ain't nobody got no baton for you, I guess, because
we beat this.
Nobody gave me a baton. You know, when I wanted to engage the struggle, I didn't seek a baton and I didn't need one. But yeah, I did get guidance from elders, and I got a lot of what I would have called at that time discouragement from elders. When I was young, I used to hate hearing people tell me I used to be just like you, you know. Right. And see, I was like you at one time, but now I appreciate that because now I'm just like them, you know, at this point stage in the struggle. So, you know, it ain't no baton. You know, go ask about the corporate baton. How many of these sellout Negroes need a corporate baton or like I said, the hood baton, the gang baton or street baton or the sellout integrationist baton. You know, I never understood this pass the baton rhetoric in the struggle. You're gonna wait for Jesse. I don't want Jesse Jackson's baton. You know, you keep that. So that's just not how things work.
Like a baseball bat.
Exactly. Yeah. That sounds a lot like making an excuse for not engaging the struggle because nobody gave you a baton.
Just real quick, because I just got confirmation I do want credit for this cover idea that I came up for the thumbnail and the title. So Jackie is joining me and Daruba Sunday morning. So we're gonna have a little church with Daruba at 10 a.m. And I think we're gonna rename this Lukman What I Like as a combination of Lukman Nation that I mix what I like. And I want people to recognize that I titled this Revolution on Both Sides. And I hope you all, at least some of a certain generation, they're not going to get it.
They're not going to. We didn't pass the hip hop baton.
We didn't pass the hip hop. Oh, man. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there.
You know where this from, Geechee?
Do you get the reference to this?
Ice-T.
Oh, God. Jesus.
You're close.
Jesus.
No.
Oh
no.
My God.
Well, is it Flavor Flav? I saw him in the airport, so he told me he was Revolution to Both Sides.
Oh my God. This is just
you sure it wasn't a mirror?
We failed.
Anyway.
We failed. This is so just quickly, it's obviously a reference to Mos Def's classic album, Black
Mighty
on
Mos,
Both Sides.
Coast to coast.
Same kind of cover.
Yasin Bey now.
Yeah. Yasin Bey, right? Yes. So anyway, so Sunday morning, 10 a.m. All right. Okay.
Tupac, Young Buck, 50 cents. No, I'm joking. Well, yeah, let's just finish the Boyce, because Boyce, I don't really want to stay on Boyce long. I thought it was whack. Maybe you got some stuff to say, but apparently him and Corey Holcomb.
I want to play this clip because I think the joint is funny.
So
now, first of all, you got it?
No, you can play the clip, but I'm the context. Corey Holcomb, who's probably been in every kind of beef with any celebrity, starting with I think I first heard his beef when he was just hilarious. He was critiquing her about taking a picture with her son naked or whatever. But anyway, Corey Holcomb
is a comedian who I've never seen 5 seconds of a routine. I only see him in these as a host of his podcast in these little clips.
I think I saw one stand up. But anyway, he made a comment that
no, he didn't.
I really did.
You said I think. Nobody says I think I saw Delirious.
I remember seeing Corey Holcomb. I think
I saw Dave Chappelle stand up.
That's a good point.
You know, either you did or you didn't.
No,
did you see Live at the Sunset Strip or not?
Listen, when you say you think, that means he probably wasn't that damn good to remember. But there's a good chance that you saw some shit pass him. But anyway, he made a comment.
Short burst.
This guy, he made a comment that he wished that it was his baby mama who transitioned. Yeah,
I remember that.
In response
to
Diallo, go ahead. Let Diallo do it. He got
I'm sorry.
God damn.
You're frustrated Geechee right now, Diallo.
I'm ad-libbing. Scudder.
I don't need you, Atlanta.
Okay, you young. I know you young people. You young people like ad-libs and
not Atlanta.
But okay,
it's not Atlanta. That's what
Chicago is not Atlanta.
Omarosa, whatever her name is.
Costa Rica is not Atlanta. Okay.
Corey Holcomb said some shit like, "Oh, I wish that was my baby mama who transitioned." In response to DC Young Fly, BoyceWatkins is like, "I don't even really like him much anyway," and so then that kind of starts some type of beef. Now Corey is going at BoyceWatkins' proposal to his wife.
Boyce posted. You got that part has to be made clear. Like he posted a whole thing on Instagram apparently where he put Corey Holcomb never liked him, met him, didn't like him, something like that.
Like him. Yeah. Which again to me, I think it's
BoyceWatkins proposing to a snow bunny. Somebody sent that to me.
No, it's
BoyceWatkins.
No. But it's almost as funny
to a snow bunny.
No, but
somebody
it's
let me know
funny.
that. Somebody sent that to me.
This guy, you Umar shit. This nigga. But they cracking jokes on Boyce because the woman don't look interested. You know, she looked like okay, sure.
Let me play the clip though.
Play the clip. But I think it's petty though. I feel like your boy in his feelings, Corey Holcomb in his feelings.
But petty is what we do. Like
maybe
this joy.
Comments right now.
But I just want to say, Mr. Watkins, you need to understand the position you in. Hey, do we really have a video put up?
Okay.
show me this video. Y'all see this shit? You ain't even got to say shit first. Can the people see that? Do you see her hesitation? First of all, this is a lady he known for a long time. I said lady. I do not know this lady. I have nothing against her. I just only understand her hesitation is obvious in the video. Look how she looking. Look how she looking. He known this lady 20 plus years, and she had a child elsewhere before she agreed to marry him because, can y'all stop the video for a second? Just stop it. I just want to say something that I want the crew to especially Darlene. I want to see what she got to say about this. I want to let all you guys 5'8" and under know this.
This for you, Geechee.
Prefer to have children
5'9"
with bigger guys.
4'6'3".
To all my short kings out there.
Guys with height. So, Mr. Watkins, I want you to know, she didn't have a baby with you. You got her when she was finished and when you was finished. But you a meal ticket for her. That's why I believe that this woman decided to say, fuck it, I'll do it, because her body language is not that of a happy woman. So I'm just letting you know, Mr. Watkins, you can say whatever you want to say about me, but you look like the ass clown right there. That's what you look like in that video. Look at your face, look at her face. That is not the face of a woman who feel like, oh, he finally did it.
All right. So,
I mean, the whole...
he also says, he keeps calling him Mr. Watkins, which I'm sure is intentional, not to call him doctor. But it's also that he keeps saying, you're supposed to be the professional. Why would you have called me out and said some dumbness about not liking me if you just want the clout or the attention from my name? But you shouldn't pick on a comic. You shouldn't go, that was the other part. So that was it. Okay.
Professional what? His whole career is based off of entertainment, black community, pop culture. Like Boyce has always been on that. So I don't.
But as he will be quick to remind, he has a PhD in finance and is an academic, and therefore what he says about race, class, etc., and business is to be accepted as legit.
So the full video looks a little different, right? And they have a conversation about how they met, and so I mean, I don't know if the woman is not happy or whatever, but I don't know. I think that's kind of like.
I don't care about all that. What I think is funny is just that in all these years of trying to assess the inaccuracies, the many copious, unending inaccuracies in BoyceWatkins analyses, that the one time that a mutual whatever was a mutual I don't want to say friend, comrade, maybe, I don't know, colleague in Baltimore was ready to have us speak to one another. Boyce said no.
I was a part of that organizing. I was
okay.
I was
so then you feel free to correct if I have any of this wrong, but his response was, I'm not going to sit with Jared because I just want a peaceful conversation. I don't want to get into a disagreement or anything like that. But if I was a famous comedian who says something silly about relationships or whatever, you would post about how you don't like me and you don't, whatever, this and that. But when a peer is looking to speak with you, not about your proposals and your wife and I don't care about none of that, about your work, then there's no room for that. So that's why, for me, this is where the funniness is for me anyway.
Yeah, he said he don't have any interest on public platforms arguing with other black men, other black people. So that was his answer. Like he don't got time to do that. He too busy in the work. And I just say, like, if he don't debate Jared, at least highlight his ex-employee Michi. I did mistakenly send that link in the chat earlier, but like she had problems with him, and a bunch of his employees had problems with him. So at least confront these people out in the open. Because I mean, intellectually, he's not prepared to engage with any academic or any.
In the very first commentary for Black Agenda Report that I did on buying power, Boyce was the pundit spokesperson that I mentioned, that I was referencing. So I didn't know anything about him before then. Until at the time, I just knew of him as Dr. BoyceWatkins, someone who writes for one or another black media outlet or whatever I was reading at the time. And he just was wrong on buying power. So over time, to see how often he's been wrong on so many other things, it made sense. But that was initially my only interest. It wasn't to get into some argument. It was just to raise a critique around that concept and how he was justifying it in light of the work I'm presenting. And he, so that's how,
maybe you should employ the Watkins tactics.
Oh yeah.
Well, allegedly,
maybe you should go at it, his fiance.
I should call out his
or his ascots.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
trying to come with that old righteous. Maybe you need to get gully. When he
allegedly
goes low, you go nasty.
I need to get more famous. That's really the only issue. Corey is famous. Corey has a following that Boyce wants to tap into. Infamous, maybe. However, I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know if Pocket Watch with JT following is as big as Corey at this point. And Corey, and allegedly, Pocket Watcher said that Boyce will comment on his stuff and then delete it. Mm-hmm. So,
well, JT's got a bigger platform and following than I and we do, and he's also more likely to reach an audience that Boyce is trying to reach. Boyce is not competing with us for an audience. He knows he has no audience here. But he does with JT. And I was just in JT's live a couple days ago, just as an audience member, watching what he was doing and looking at the chat. And we are in wildly different spaces. So, I mean, it's just wildly different. Yeah. So that's the audience Boyce is looking to compete with and take advantage of. And,
So again, I didn't want to stay on Boyce. I don't know if y'all have much more to say.
I'm done.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. So before
that's the hater defense mechanism. Everybody, that's the hater ego defense mechanism. We over here, we about quality.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go take my throne because I'm a shoe-in for hater of the year.
So as we get into
that's what you're supposed to say. You got to spin it.
As we get into affirmative action, and it appears that Ketanji Jackson and Clarence Thomas are being put up in front of everybody to beef as two black Supreme Courts, and one of them look more radical than the other. One of them sound like Diallo, the other one sound like they work at Hood Communists. So my
is Clarence Thomas with the snow bunny? Hold on. Let me see. Is Clarence Thomas with a snow bunny? Somebody send that to me.
Anyway,
somebody let me know.
We gonna mute Dr. Umar Diallo Kenyatta. But my first question is, like, this oversimplification. Do y'all think there's an oversimplification of Clarence being so radical one day and then he went to Holy Cross and that helped him become liberal? And he used to be like, how do y'all approach?
Well, first, let's break down the argument. What is each of them saying? How is each one being?
So Clarence is pretty much saying that we don't need the affirmative action anymore. We've moved past that, and it's nothing has to do with race, blah, blah, blah. And Ketanji is like, you will be stupid to think that race has no bearing in how things are going. It impacts everything. So she's being hosted as this person who's more Clara, but Clarence voted against something that they say help him. So somebody said Clarence pulled the rope up after he pulled himself up. He pulled the rope away so nobody else can climb up afterwards. But again, people are coming to this argument like, oh, Clarence used to be so radical. He was like, he came in looking like the Black Panther with the fits and he used to wear the shit or whatever. And I'm asking, like, do y'all have any experience or thoughts around his being posted as a radical, and then when he get the Holy Cross, he become liberal? Like, do y'all even acknowledge? And I know he wrote a book and might have some radical ideas per se, or regurgitate some shit. But would y'all say that he actually was radical at a point, and he, as people say, gave up or lost hope or got dragged to the right or whatever the case may be? Like, how do y'all experience that?
Before you answer, Diallo, can I just read this one paragraph that's just to give a little summary to what they claim is their disagreement? Clarence Thomas is quoted here as saying, as she sees things, that is Justice Brown, we are all inexorably trapped in a fundamentally racist society with the original sin of slavery and the historical subjugation of Black Americans still determining our lives today, wrote Thomas, 75, who in 1991 became the second Black person after Thurgood Marshall to be appointed to the High Court. The panacea she counsels is to unquestioningly accede to the view of elite experts and reallocate society's riches by racial means as necessary to level the playing field. All is judged by racial metrics. I strongly disagree. Now, I love how he makes reference to the elite academics that are apparently ruling society as he takes his junkets with billionaires. But anyway, Diallo, I just wanted to give a little...
Also, because you like to interrupt, let me interrupt you real quick. So he also agreed with you, Diallo. He says he don't believe that the racial wealth gap between Black and whites is constitutionally irrelevant. So we don't even talk about racial wealth gap, he says. So as Malefi says, you and your boy, y'all in pocket. Go ahead.
It is constitutionally irrelevant. He's right about that.
But I never said that. But beyond that, I think it's quite surprising that people believe that someone who was in the Black Power movement could become an ultra right-wing conservative, because he's not the first and won't be the last. I mean, look at Eldridge Cleaver, who was in the leadership. He also became a Mormon, denounced the Panthers, and
Bobby Rush in Chicago.
There are a lot, Bobby Rush. There are a lot of components to Black radicalism and Black nationalism and Black militancy that are reactionary and conservative. So whenever someone joins a movement, you know, a lot of people are not seeking liberation. They just want a more rapid and aggressive and militant integration with the systems and institutions of capitalism and white hegemony. So I think we really don't need to clutch pearls when we see, oh, Clarence used to be a Black Panther, or Clarence used to be support the Black Power movement. He's an opportunist. He's an opportunist. I know personally individuals who, when they were in college in the 60s, and they tell these stories with pride. They would go to the administration of their schools and say, listen, we want to found a fraternity. We want to start a fraternity. And they say, no, you can't start a fraternity. So then they would say, well, we're going to organize a chapter of the Black Panthers on campus if you don't let us have a fraternity. And so they'll turn around and, okay, fine, you can have a fraternity. And I know Dale Jones was talking about when he would go and he would be invited in the 60s and 70s out to speak at groups, and they would bring him out. Like he said, he once, I think it was either AT&T or IBM Black employees invited him out to give a lecture, and they were trying to negotiate for something. They were in some conflict with management, so they started playing militant, bringing out militant speakers and articulating and taking militant positions. And as soon as they got the concessions from management, they abandoned all militancy. He said, I can no longer got invitations from these groups. So there's a long history of integrationists and reactionary Black people who go militant when it's convenient for their personal advancement. And then they don't see Black militancy as existing for collective liberation. They see it for personal advancement. So you notice Clarence Thomas says racism is over. But when he was in the trial for sexually harassing Anita Hill, and all of his improprieties and bordering on crimes and sexual offenses were being brought to light, he called it a high-tech lynching. He called it racism. So his entire career, he said racism doesn't exist. But when his position on the Supreme Court was threatened, it was a Black woman accusing him. It was a Black woman accusing him. And he said that racism doesn't exist. So he didn't say this is sexism. This is about gender issues or workplace. He said this was a high-tech lynching. This is racist. And the day he got approved with the help of the reformed racist Joe Biden, the world's first reformed racist. When he got on the Supreme Court, the moment he got over his personal storm, racism again stopped being an issue. Same thing Cosby did. Cosby went around the country for over a decade telling black people that we were pulling the race card and blaming racism for problems we caused. And when he got in trouble, and when he was on the verge of being convicted, all of a sudden it's racism, and it's racist. Then his conviction got overturned. Now again, it's because of his personal stance. So we have to recognize, and it ain't just the conservatives, a lot of black liberals, Obama, will dip into the racism, dip into the black unity, dip into collective struggle. Monique, willing to call us out as a collective to rally around. Byron Allen, to rally the people.
Support black business.
Yeah.
So he can get his Revolt TV more ad revenue.
A lot of people, and this is why we done lost affirmative action. This is why affirmative action got repealed, actually, because many affluent black people felt that black collective struggle only exists for black individual advancement.
Right.
The fact that I can own a TV network or a pro sports team is the culmination of the struggle. I am King's dream.
So, yeah.
You know, I am the manifestation. I am my ancestors' greatest wish. I'm blessed and highly favored. The reason we're losing shit that we collectively fought for, concessions that we collectively fought for, whether you like them or not, whether you assess them as positive or good or not, the reason we're losing things that we fought for collectively is because they've only benefited individuals.
Right. So one of the statements before you go, Jared, that Clarence made, he says he repudiated stats that's showing that the average white family makes more than the average black family, arguing that such figures unfairly portray black people as a monolith, right? So only, not everybody not getting it. But again, my question is, can we say that these people who were once radical, like Diallo was saying, did they really believe some of the stuff? Were they like opportunists? And I know, Jared, with your book, like even the most radical person can believe in the myth of the black buying power, and then it goes straight this place. And I know people say Huey moved, he's smarting up. You have some people, which our common homeboy said, that Fred Hampton was young. Once he would have matured and got older, his politics would have been more mature. He would have been, he went from beating a black capitalist to becoming a black capitalist. So yeah, so go ahead, Jerry. Your thoughts.
Well, I mean, just one, people could say that, but there's no evidence for that. So so there's just no evidence of that. There's nothing in his life that points that was a possibility. So that's, but there's also, by the way, a difference in how people have falsely understood or misunderstood the concept of buying power. So, and this gets to Ricky's point, that Malcolm X and Dr. King, when they misread buying power, were doing it for very different reasons. Du Bois misread buying power for a different reason, and even Garvey misread buying power. And certainly then people misrepresent it today. So there's a difference between saying we have buying power, let's use it to have a revolution, and saying we have buying power, so let's use it to support black entrepreneurialism and capitalism. All right, so that's just one quick. I think I just lost my thought, so I don't know if I'm gonna get to the rest of you, but so bring me back if you want, but I do just want to bring up one quick thing that bothers me about this issue over affirmative action in higher education. Of the many flaws and contradictions involved there is this issue that I am admitting I'm happy to see a little bit getting attention, which is this question of legacies. And for those who are not aware, of course, a legacy is just those mostly white who get admitted into universities because their parents or grandparents graduated from there, bought a building, funded some whatever. And even to her credit, I will acknowledge that I saw that she said this, that AOC made the point that 70% of Harvard's legacy applicants are white, and SCOTUS didn't touch on that, which would have impacted them and their patrons. So if there's this idea that we don't want to have in a society legislation that targets and supports only one group racialized in such a way because we want to have a raceless society and then the opposite would also have to be true. And in every university where I've been, where I've even witnessed, in some cases participated in these protests around affirmative action claims and legacy, that issue of legacy is rarely discussed and rarely brought up and rarely put in proper juxtaposition to affirmative action, both in terms of how many people get in, the class and the position in society that they come out of, and then how they benefit. So anyway, I think I forgot the rest of your question, though, Geechee, and I apologize, but we can come back to anything after that. Go ahead. Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. But so do you think, I know sometimes we get into like conspiracies, but do you think there's this putting these two black justices out and they're like arguing, and then people going to
definitely, there's definitely an interest in that. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you could even see it in the way the stories are, that they love it. We got two black members of the Supreme Court, and they are beefing, and they represent, from the perspective of the elite and white power in particular, they represent the acceptable range of debate for blackness. One, because at most, Ketanji is going to say, yeah, give us some affirmative action, and America's basically on the way to perfection. And Clarence obviously representing the even more palatable view that we don't need any recognition of racial difference and categorization after, as George Jackson said, the fact of monopoly capital. After we've taken everything and ripped everybody off, now we can stop paying attention.
So Thomas Sowell, his books will be circulating again, because his YouTube, man, his whatever white establishment supporters have really brought Sowell strongly into the 21st century. He's got a whole new YouTube setup that's, I don't know, giving him another walk in the sun, to co-op Dr. Clark. Anyway. Don't forget the military exemption from Ketanji Kuhn. What is the military exception? I'm not catching that off top. Military exemption?
Exemption, I'm saying. I'm sorry. What is the military exemption?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Listen, the whole affirmative action thing, we have to go back to Dale Jones, where he said loosening up to get a tighter grip. He said they loosen up to get a tighter grip. Many of these concessions that were made, civil rights concessions, were not to empower black people, but to derail black power. And they've run their course. They didn't give us these concessions because they felt that they had a change of heart, or they felt that we were deserving. What happens a lot of times in struggles, justice and liberation struggles across generations and across borders, is that when the oppressed population, any type of, whether it's religious, gender, sexuality, racial, ethnic, tribal group, rises up for whatever they're rising up about, when they force their oppressors to grant them concessions, they turn around and handpick which people from the oppressed groups get those concessions and receive those concessions. So what we recognize is that conscious black people and community-minded black people fought for shit that individualized and individualist black people received. I've sat across from black elders who were the direct recipients of rewards and opportunities that were secured by rioters. that were secured by Black Liberation Army, Black militants. And they looked me in my eyes and said, I'm here because I stayed off of drugs. I'm here because I know how to act. I'm here because I worked my ass off. So these Black people who are in positions of authority, opportunity, power, influence right now really believe that even if they were born in the middle of Jim Crow, if they were born in the middle of chattel slavery, their own fortitude, their own discipline, their own abilities would have gotten them to where they are. And they don't acknowledge for 1 second that collective struggle, sacrifice, and blood in the streets, burning buildings. And I see Black people who directly benefited from rebellion sit here just couple of years ago talking about Black people out here breaking windows and doing wrong.
Oh my God. Diallo. Look, folks will not believe that this is unplanned, but this is the perfect segue to the last thing I wanted us to talk about today. This being the anniversary of the 1989 release of Do the Right Thing in movie theaters, cinematically puts on display exactly Diallo's last point. So very quickly, David Soberg and all of you got this right. Now that I'm clear on what the military exemption is to the affirmative action rule is allowing military, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the military, they need that diversity. They're happy to have that diversity. Anybody can get in on the killing and being killed, but when it comes to who was going to be trained to be a ruler of society, oh no. Legacies only, my dear brother. But just but borrowing from the point that Amiri Baraka made on one of my favorite panels that I'm hoping my dear comrades at the Alambe Brath Foundation will make available to us at some point, because I cannot find my tape. That classic 1992 panel hosted by Alambe Brath, featuring Dr. John Henry Clark, Dhoruba Ben Wahad, and Amiri Baraka, condemning the forthcoming release of Malcolm X, the film by SpikeLee, Baraka made the point in that discussion that in Do the Right Thing, SpikeLee shows you in his character Mookie who he is in real life and the role that he is meant to play. The one who comes after, as Diallo was talking about, the riot, who comes after the uprising and the windows get smashed, to collect the money the white man literally throws to the ground for him to pick up. And I said, ever since then, I said, damn, if that's not a brilliant way of summarizing what has even presciently, from Baraka's point in 30 years ago, was the rest of Spike's career. So just quickly, again, this is the anniversary. I'm just pulling up an old article that is reminiscent of a couple things. But today is the anniversary of the 1989 release of Do the Right Thing in theaters. And having shown up at Virginia Beach the following summer in the military and seeing the still aftermath of this isn't about if this is a good film. That's not my point. The point isn't that. The point is what people thought it meant and what people, I think, still think it means. But showing up in Virginia Beach the following summer in 1990, the aftermath of the previous summer's uprisings, riots, racial conflict was still thick in the air, all of which was spurned by this film in that area and around the country. Because relative to better films, and I think relative to most of the films out today, it pushed a lot of buttons in a way that I think are positive, but then ultimately led us back in a way that is more sophisticated today, of having the analysis and the interpretation of the problems be brought right back into a very comfortable, liberal, easily distilled, confinable response. So I'll stop there. I'll let either of you jump in or anyway.
Yeah, I think that Spike Lee is a good reflection of reactionary ideology and politics masquerading as revolution, you know. And I also think that it is very strong on the fact that Black solidarity is corrupted when it lacks class consciousness, you know, and class analysis. You know, I want everybody Black to win. I think last time we were here, we were talking about Tyler Perry and BET, and VH1, and all that. I do think that Black solidarity, absent class consciousness, is corrupt. It's at the best, it is sets us up for hyper exploitation of our of Black capitalists or Black allies and assets of our oppressors.
I just think the right thing would be Spike Lee and Tyler Perry to come up and buy a major network.
Black Power Media.
Yeah, so that we can play. We can play Big Three. We can play all the Big Three games here. And then, you know, Ice Cube don't have.
Ice Cube melted. Ice Cube went on Joe Rogan's show.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's on a tour. What you talking about? Why not, you know, say fuck the gatekeepers and go on a tour starting at a podcast for Joe Rogan? I mean, that's probably the smartest tactic.
You know what? There were a couple things that I actually did. I forgot that I wanted to get to that all blend with this point. But yeah. Quickly, if I could just say this real quick, because I know we're about to move off of this. I just wrote two quick notes. The character bugging out in Do the Right Thing represents so much of today's symbolic activism and desire for recognition by whites who own and control. So the whole thing with him starting the beef around why there are no brothers on the wall, this is our favorite pizzeria, you white Italian pizzeria owners, you make all your money off the Black community, you got no symbolic representation of us on the wall. Yeah. And then Mookie, as I said, represents the collection of the bag after the threats of the uprising. So all of that is still happening today. And yeah. And I'm wait a minute. Killer Mike.
Wait a minute. That mansion, that BLM mansion is for organizing. That BLM mansion is for a gathering.
It's for organizing.
A safe space for organizing. We should have the next conference there in the BLM mansion.
You know what? Can we apply for that? How does that work? Can we apply for that? We should have.
I don't know how you saying it's still happening today.
Yeah, you can mend our relationships with Killer Mike, and he'll.
Did Mookie buy a mansion for us to organize and gather in? No, I think not. It's not still happening today.
You don't know. We didn't get to Do the Right Thing part 2. It ends with him picking up the money off the street.
I don't know. He could have invested it almost 2 years ago.
He could have invested that in a business and flipped it, and then by now been getting a mansion,
a barbershop,
because
his haircut was whack as hell. That's what.
I'm sorry, I missed that last quote.
No, I was saying I told people this like almost 2 years ago. You late, Rob? We already know this. Dino, baby mama, is Joe Rogan's wife, and now his daughter is the stepdaughter of Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Joe Rogan is a racial realist. He's an overt racist who platforms Nazis, racial realists, right-wing reactionaries.
And business owners and the first Black business owner to own a sports company.
And so
give that man his flowers.
And so for I think it's appropriate for Ice Cube to go on that show because Joe Rogan is also a multimillionaire, and we've seen throughout the decades that wealthy Black or rich Blacks will put their class interest above their racial interest whenever the two come into conflict. And even if they don't come into conflict, they still reside amongst their class peers as opposed to their racial brothers and sisters. So it's really insane that he would go on that podcast, and I called him out after trying to write a contract for Black America. Joe Rogan opposes reparations and everything that was in not everything, but most things that was in Ice Cube's goofy ass contract, which he fell by the wayside. And I also said everything in Ice Cube's contract, instead of him going to the Democrat.
I keep getting these inboxes, yo. Like people say we should. You see this movie, I Am Virgo. It's supposed to be the big tall. Somebody's saying it's like some radical film, and we need to watch it and discuss it.
That and Marighella, if I'm saying that correctly, we need to do something on that too. But just to quickly to Ajamu's comment, the focus on Rogan more than the other media, I think, has more to do with his being more popular than other media at this point, particularly young people. He's got the #1 podcast in the world. And it's every time I've watched any portion of it, it's just a mess. So anyway, that would be so. But I'm not surprised that they would go there. That is, to your point, Diallo, Cube, and now I just lost. Who was the other one? Killer Mike. But by the way, they're both welcome here still.
Right. So
but anyway.
So, but what's your take of Cube's argument? So apparently he's saying fuck the gatekeepers. Who would be?
He's doing the same thing Diallo was just talking about. We all like it's all super black until it's time to get the white money. So he and that was the clip I was going to play from one of the more recent Earn Your Leisure videos where they're talking to a rapper I don't know anything about. But it's the same attitude. I want to have a relationship with these dominant white corporations in the context of my somehow still autonomous, important blackness, but only to the point where I get built up to the big enough to that they would invest more and buy. So Cube is basically saying the NBA is interfering with his ability to get more ad revenue and more investment from the ad revenue community, which I forgot to bring up. We ran out of time the other day. I was looking at one of their new reports, is spending even more. And the financial community is even spending more, by the way, in investing in advertising that's playing more of a role in determining the content of all this major media that Rogan certainly wants access to, and certainly does. So does Cube and Killer Mike. By the way, Greenwood Bank app is the same thing. Get big enough to get investment and more purchase from white banks and white investment.
And bought out.
And be bought out. That's the goal.
So do you
exactly?
Do you
exactly?
Think, so if you following the logic, is he thinking that he's gonna go on these podcast platforms, and because the NBA and he said the ESPN before is blocking him, he's gonna appeal to all of the white people beyond them and say, hey, like,
because when he goes, first of all, let's be clear. When he goes on there and says the gatekeepers have got at me since I did the contract with Black America, he's
lying ass motherfucker. And who are the gatekeepers?
Well, Jews. So that's why Rogan.
He's talking about the NBA.
I'm wrong on that.
No. He's not.
That's why I thought Rogan had him on immediately.
He's talking about NBAs.
Ice Cube is a militant Zionist. Ice Cube is a Zionist. He ain't got no beef with the Jews. He's ready to take up arms and kill every Palestinian he can get his hands on. He is a militant Zionist,
Jews, though. Again, but being a Zionist and liking Jews is not the same thing.
Well,
not at all.
According to Jews, it is, because how many
I don't even think Jews are. No.
Okay,
Zionists
according to Zionists,
Zionist is confused about Jews.
Anti-Zionism
are not confused by that.
Pro-Zionism equals pro-Jew. Anti-Zionism equals anti-Semitic. Where have you been?
No, anti-Zionism equals anti-Semitic, but pro-Zionism. But in reality, wait, hold on, because I know there's a lot going on here. In reality, I get what you're saying, but in reality, all Zionists are recognized. They hate each other. They're only using each other to get what they think they're going to get, in part from some of the mythologies they believe in with the afterlife. That's part of it. I get what you're saying. When you say you're an anti-Zionist, you're jacketed with the anti-Semitic thing, but that doesn't mean that they act that pro-Zionists actually do like Jews. So that's what I'm just saying. When I heard him saying the gatekeepers, and in the way he was saying it, I heard Ice Cube making an appeal to Joe Rogan's white conservative audience. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I heard.
Yeah, don't be like that, Jay. He's worked too hard. He's come too far for you to try to.
But again, so won't you think that eventually he'll be talking about some type of buying power to convince that, hey, we got money over here. We got ex NBA stars retired and they're producing this much energy or this much, fan base. So eventually he will have to kind of quote how much numbers he's doing too, because he want to go past the NBA, because he says, fuck the gatekeepers. He don't even want to be a part of the gatekeepers. We don't need them. We can build our own. As he has,
but he has a well, I don't know what his background is, but he has a European descended partner who co-founded the Big Three with him. So
is Ice Cube partner with a snow bunny? Somebody get back to me. Is Big Three co-owned by a snow bunny? Somebody let me know. Somebody put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Is Big Three co-owned by a snow bunny?
Absolutely.
So absolutely.
So go to that one link.
Jeff Quatinetz.
Yeah.
Quantinetz.
It's black owned. Big Three
black
is black owned.
like Dr. Burroughs used to say about Oprah's venture, it's half owned. Own is half owned.
Ain't no such thing as halfway owners.
Ain't no such thing as halfway owners.
So on their website, on Big Three website, they have this Buy Black nonprofit organization who acknowledge like black leaders or whatever. But they announced this big award, not big award, but this big statement like, oh, they're the first black owned media, sports agency or sports company. But when you go to the We Buy Black, Buy Black, BY Black, there's pretty much a certification that all of us can sign up for. So we literally can sign up BPM right now live and then end up getting acknowledged by them. And so Ice Cube is posting as if this is something to celebrate. That, again, I actually never heard of Buy Black until last night when I looked them up.
What? How do you spell? Is it a We Buy Black?
No, it's just Buy Black, BY. BLACK. I think it's the Black Chamber, the link that I got in a private chat. But
you did send the link?
Yeah. So
I don't see it.
I sent the link in the private chat, and I sent the link for how we can get certified too, so we can be certified as a.
I don't see it.
I got it here.
Cause your computer raggy, brother. You ain't a part of it.
You don't want to talk tech, man. You don't want to tech battle.
You right. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. But look, there's. All on that website, you'll see Chase Bank, you see American Express, you see whatever, but you also can sign up, and once you sign up, it'll ask you, is the ownership at least 50% black, and did you get some type of minority set aside to start?
So they would so Big Three would qualify if one half of the two is black. That's all you need.
At least
do the Charlotte Hornets still qualify?
I don't know. They don't kick Jordan in the back, so he done. But yeah, I actually never heard.
So we could. So American Express and USBC.
Go down and try to sign BPM up.
But Buy Black literally means black is going away.
Get started.
Buy Black means this. Coded message. We need some of these numerologists, these Moorish scientists, to come break this down for us, because. To me, it sounds like they want to eliminate black.
Oh, man.
Buy Black?
Not buy, not BYE.
It's buy. What does buy mean then?
Not BYE, it's buy like it's
BY.
Yeah.
Yes. What does BY mean?
Like for us, by us.
Oh, I was getting scared for a second. But
you trying to be Malefi Asante and get rid of the black?
It also means to go past. Like I went by your house. It also means going past black, my brothers.
Look at all these white foundations and organizations. So yeah,
it doesn't say by the blacks. It means to go past.
This guy is wild. Wow.
Yeah, it also means to take an oath. Y'all don't be understanding these definitions, and that's why we not free. Ask the Moors. It's because we don't understand the definitions.
So basically, you don't want to sign up for their certification because I'm
trying to break down the science
trying to get a big
behind
following.
The name.
We're trying to get a big follow. We're trying to spread massive political education, and the only way we can do it is by black. So we need to get our certification so we can be good in these.
That means going past black.
Oh.
Well,
why
not? No, I'm faux black. I'm FUBU. For black. Well, nah. Until I hear from the black conscious numerologists, more scientists about whether or not this name has deeper meaning, I'm not gonna fall into the matrix with y'all.
Well,
can I play this on your leisure clip?
Yeah. And then we're gonna get to see who got some clean air, and y'all talk about y'all little dirty ass L over there.
This is short, but it speaks to another way.
So one of the things
first of all, who is this Simba dude? I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know anything. Okay.
It's a new nigga every day.
All right. So from my vantage point, the major label gives you that.
So he's just made a comment about being on the value, he says. He makes a passing comment about being on the value of being a rapper, an artist, and being on a major label. So then this is the follow-up question right here.
Stardom, right? It gives you like the push. It pushes you on different platforms. They play your song on the radio. They, the downside to that is most of the time they own your music. They own the masters, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a downside depending on how you look at it.
Of them owning your masters?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your take on that?
Some people can't do shit with their own masters.
What's the point of owning
100% of nothing? It's like you just making $3,500 every 90 days off your music, and you own your rights. Why not give up a percentage to get a?
So you're comfortable with not owning your masters
at the moment,
because you see in the future you want to own your masters.
Yeah.
Okay, but right now you're looking at it from a standpoint where you're sacrificing not owning your masters now to get to the point where you have stardom. So your masters
deeper than stardom for me. It's also learning the industry. It's learning the game. So let's say one day I'm not in a situation with Atlantic. I'll still know who to call and who to talk to and who does what in what department at Apple, who does what at Spotify, and who I need to talk to get playlisted over there. So it's deeper than just stardom. It's learning the system. So one day I'm going to have to create my own.
So to me, it's like a perfect microcosm of all of their flawed analyses. It's him saying, I need them to build me up to become famous and rich enough and connected enough to then become independent to do it on my own, which is another version of I got to become part of the system to change the system. It's another version of I got to make myself independent and big enough within their context so that they will sign off on me so I can claim some new level of independence. It also falls into the fantasy of I'll get big enough to get my masters back at some later point. It also falls into the mythology and the fantasy of we can't do anything without them. I have to sacrifice my own autonomy and sovereignty and ownership to get to a status where I can get to then claim some autonomy. And then, of course, it is the contradiction and the hypocrisy of that being the case. Prince couldn't have ever made the stance he made without having first been platformed by the very entities that he would challenge later on, and so on and so on and so on. So that's it. I just thought it was fascinating. And then it works perfectly with what Earn Your Leisure wants to say, because their whole point, one way or another, is engage capital, engage the investment community, get as much as you can while claiming independence and autonomy, all while serving and benefiting from the same industry and arrangements. Fascinating. Anyway.
Earn your masters. Earn your masters, and Killer Mike said kill your masters. So doing it all. So
you're muted, Diallo.
Yeah, Diallo.
You know,
I said Cuddly Mike.
My bad. Cuddly Mike, Huggy Mike, whatever you want to call him, Huggy Bear. But pull up that zip code thing. So
yeah.
What y'all got going on in y'all dirty ass air cities? Diallo, I know you said you.
Diallo said he's good now.
Now,
well, that's what the reports are saying.
So this is what we're gonna do too. Y'all type in y'all zip code in the chat. We're gonna plug y'all
community service. So mine is unhealthy. I'm here in suburban DC reporting.
Everybody
area,
type their zip code in the chat.
And I'm at unhealthy. So if you want to call out some other ones,
put mine in there.
What's yours? What's your zip code?
60615.
60615. Yeah, you a little healthier.
Unhealthy for sensitive. All right, try.
I'm sensitive. I'm hard as a stone, so I'm going outside right now.
Man, y'all shit coming too fast now. Ooh, try 37312. Cleveland.
Oh, you good in Cleveland? Oh, you damn near.
Who's in Cleveland?
Who's that? JX, no one. How about 20707? 20707.
The Bone Thug is the air is clean. You a Bone Thug.
I know y'all dirty. Ooh.
Yeah, they right down the street. They're no good. They right down the street from me.
Let's see what the Bronx look like. 10470. Throsneck in the building. Dirty ass air.
That's where all them bus depots are. That ain't listen. That's not every day for the Bronx. I mean, seriously, that's where that's like the mecca of environmental racism. That's where they store all the buses and trucks.
Try a Leo 60615. Chicago.
That's Chicago too.
That's my hood.
Oh, that's your hood.
Who in my hood? Who else put in 616? They didn't check in.
Wait, who's try 200-01. 200-01.
Oh, that's not far. That's me. That's down. Yeah, they right here.
Yeah, that's an affluent neighborhood.
That's some other people. How about
rich?
105.
We got some money. It's some money.
I know.
In the chat.
Donate more. Mount Vernon.
Ooh, y'all got money.
Money earning. Mount
y'all
Vernon.
got money. People just putting in zip codes to flex.
Let's see
what's serious. We trying to find out how people doing out here. Y'all in the chat flexing.
We got how about Seth Lord 45220.
Cincinnati.
Nasty Natty.
They good.
Ooh. Oh,
they good.
Nasty Natty.
Congratulations.
DJ High Tech.
How about down there in Florida? 32114.
Daytona Beach. Chilling.
21217. That's Baltimore.
That's God's country.
That's up here.
Woke goes to die.
But
people go to breathe. Florida.
Yeah, so all of y'all got some dirty. How about 53208? One more.
Milwaukee. Yeah, y'all not good either.
Damn, everybody. Who got the really, really bad shit all the way to the right side?
That was us just a day or two ago.
Birmingham, one more time. 35207. I know y'all clean down there because
they're not.
Oh, no. Shit.
They just as bad as us.
Oh, they probably got unhealthy for other reasons though, because I think it's right at St. Louis right now. But
New Jersey, y'all not good. You never good though. You know that.
Is this Kentucky 606-116? I mean 16?
Oh, LA is good relatively. What was Kentucky?
I think 606-16. That might be somewhere else. I don't know what that is.
Chicago.
Oh, that's Chicago.
Nobody's checking in, Diallo. There's a lot of people.
I'm taking names. That's what I'm doing right now.
Write it down.
Ain't nobody checked in. Everybody putting in 606. I ain't been checked in once today.
Let's see what Keontae doing down there. 35476. 35476.
Is that? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
They chilling.
354.
Where's that?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Ain't nobody down there. They ain't even got no cars there. They still horse-drawn buggies. Of course, they got pre-industrial infrastructure.
Oh, that's New
What'd you say?
7115. That's the one you just did.
I think so.
Yeah, that's it. New Orleans.
Yeah. 15206. Who's that?
Damn, yo. Whoops. See what Coco them doing down Pittsburgh. There. 30260.
Pittsburgh, real bad.
Damn.
30260.
Morrow.
They're not too good.
Unhealthy for sensitive groups. Damn. Dirty ass air everywhere. But so So in Chicago, y'all cleaned up a little bit. You say Diallo, obviously the people say they're doing their thing. But so one of the things I was looking at, like in Detroit.
Wait. Take down another name. That's another one for you, Diallo.
Okay, Mark. Okay.
Ain't nobody
checked in. I ain't been checked in. With
the higher rates of asthma in the Black communities where they're already kind of like polluting plants there. So it's like the polluting plants already dirty ass air, compound with this. Do y'all have hoods or area in your neighborhood that's predominantly Black that they kind of being punished? And I know and Jared.
I hate on air.
Diallo, your mayor has said something, but Brandon hasn't said anything, and Obama 2.0 hasn't said anything yet. So Jared, your people don't care, but at least your mayor.
West
West ain't said shit. Mr. West ain't say shit. He don't really care about y'all. He trying to get the military guns. But Diallo, your president, Brandon, I think your president Brandon too, ain't he? So both of y'all got Brandon.
He's the mayor. Mr. Brandon, would you please be my mayor?
I know. I really hope.
Hold on, you lying. You lying. Don't you lie. Hold on. I got to check you. I had to do a Google search. Geechee be lying on my governor.
As of last night,
he said this back a month ago.
Oh, that don't count because y'all wouldn't.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying he's on it. Don't talk bad about your future president.
Brandon.
But I'm trying to tell you. President. They're gonna speed. Now I know they're gonna speed up Westmore's track. Now that Cornel West is out here, they're gonna be like, we gotta speed him up.
All the West.
We got fast track.
So I mean,
are you sharing this, Diallo?
Chicago is 29% Black, Diallo.
I ain't sharing nothing, huh?
Chicago is 29% Black right now.
I don't think so.
Less.
Certain areas, Black people. I mean, in the last 6 to 10 years, they didn't lost like 700,000 Black residents. Black people are just. Chicago's purging its Black population. Let me say that.
Oh wow,
Ricky, there is no such thing as old news when your future president speaks. Okay,
pretty much.
But yeah,
so we.
I don't know, man.
So
I live in the Black neighborhoods, but when I'm out, I'm in the nice. I go to the nice areas.
So Diallo, I want you to.
I don't know how many Black people here.
I want you to put your environmental hat on. Like I had a conversation with my aunt who's in the Bronx, and I was telling her about global warming and blah blah and the U.S. contributions. She was like, "Well, I'll just agree to disagree." I was like, "Well, you can look at these articles." But anyway, the fire or the square miles in Canada is the size of South Carolina that has been on fire, right? So imagine the whole state of South Carolina being on fire and how it will impact. Speak to more of like this idea of, I guess, climate change and Black people in.
And listen, I've been telling y'all for the last 20 years, get off the swine, vote green, and dismantle the systems and institutions of industrial capitalism. The world carbon emissions, global warming is real. Climate disruption is real. In fact, it is the number one threat. The life-sustaining capacity of the planet Earth is being destroyed. So these forest fires are a direct result of shifts in the climate and the jet stream. Now, climate change is not new. The Earth's climate has changed. You know, the Antarctica used to be a tropical forest. But the problem with climate change right now is it's too rapid for biomes to adapt. So the problem is the rapidity and the speed of the change in climate to where species and environments cannot adapt. And the Western nations that caused it, in terms of concentration of carbon in the atmosphere, which is causing the greenhouse effect, they don't talk about this anymore because they just decided to, hey, let's just not. But what's happening is there are greenhouse effects, burning fossil fuels, and that is concentrating in the atmosphere. So when the sun's heat comes into the atmosphere, it can't escape. So the planet is warming due to high rates of carbon emission. Now you have carbon fixing and carbon sinks, which are forests, the oceans, and other large biomes that the carbon that is emitted and burned in the environment is captured by the forest, is captured by the ocean. The ocean used to be a carbon sink, are being cut down for short-term profits.
Literally, the earth is being destroyed so that Bezos can get the biggest yacht. It's not even as though humanity is destroying the environment in order to advance to some utopian or so to advance us all. So we're literally destroying the climate for a small group of people to have an obscene amount of wealth. So what must be done, and the only way to do this is for the economy to function within the limits of the ecology. The ecology is what your immediate environment produces. If you outlive and outstrip your ecology, you will start to degrade your ecology. And that is a big source behind colonialism. People living in places, outstripping the local resources, and then forcibly taking resources from other areas to sustain a high rate of consumption and outputs in one area. So if we did not have the rich, if we did not have a consumer-based, disposable, profit-driven economy, there would be no incentive to destroy and pollute ecosystems. So ecology, any organization or any group that does not have central to its liberation struggle ecology, restoration of the ecosystems, the preservation of what biodiversity is left, carbon sequestration and carbon capturing, they're not serious about liberation. Another big part of this, which is why I go in on it, is this concept that the world is just a waste station, that our material existence is just a test on how we will live in the hereafter, is also a big part of why the ecosystem is being destroyed, or we are allowing and existing in it. So the fantasy that we will have an afterlife, that we will go on to judgment, that Allah or Jesus or some other fantasy fiction God will come back and judge humanity and will one day destroy all of this anyway. The world is just a way station. My body is just a vessel. That type of mentality is what allows for the environment and ecosystems to be destroyed. So one other fantasy is that Elon Musk and these billionaires who can't even get a submarine to the Titanic are going to fly us to Mars, and we're going to colonize other planets and live in space. That is not happening. The human technology and the scope and the trajectory of human technology and the degradation of the environment is degrading at a much more rapid pace than the technology is advancing for Mars colonization. So that's another fantasy.
Well, the only potential flaw in what I hear what you're saying is that from paying attention to this submersible crisis or incident a little bit lately, I've learned apparently that humanity is much more likely to make it to Mars than it is to make it to the depths of the ocean. That the technological challenges to get to the depths are far more imposing than getting to space, despite what many of us might have been.
But here's
the obscenity. Here's the obscenity in that.
Before you go, I don't know if y'all notice what I'm doing. So we have an economic guy who give us a myth of black buying power. Diallo coming out with his book, The Myth of Black Breathing Air, right? So he gonna do the ecology.
Actually, my book is about ecology and black liberation.
I know.
If it ever gets out.
If that's backwards, you got to get out with your PR game because almost nobody challenges that fact out in the public. So I'm happy to be corrected, but
let's go here real quick.
We can't do either of them. Actually, here's the nonsense.
I'm gonna set you off. So we had the idea of myth of black buying power and propaganda and how it does what it does. We have sanctions and we have Diallo with some ecology. So when you think about the misinformation, right? So right now, and shout out to Musa and Salifu and Ricky, I was on their podcast the other day. But you have the U.S. now trotting out their green plan, right? Clean coal, shit like that. Oh, we can go to solar panels as if that's not toxic as fuck as well. So how do you, Diallo and either Jared, how do you begin to even break people down to not believing myths about ecology as well? Because if we already believe myths about the fucking economy, you can imagine, all you gotta do is drink, we'll just say ginger ale. You can't breathe, just drink ginger ale, go lay down, take a Tylenol, whatever the fuck. But what do you what do you suggest on breaking down myths and actually focusing on how ecology is probably way more important than the fucking economy. But go ahead.
I don't have a good answer for that. I'm happy to hear Diallo's. I mean, to me, it's the same approach. What do you think you know about the issue? Once you demonstrate that they don't know anything, you can maybe make some progress.
Well, it's too late for humanity to discuss preventing climate change and climate disruption and ecological collapse. We're too late to discuss that. Now we have to discuss how we move forward. So the most thing that's most important that you get from people who actually have gone through regional and national collapse, whether it's in Russia, the parts of Horn of Africa, is they find that people who survive collapses and who survive severe societal or ecological disruption, what separates those who thrive or endure and those who perish or completely disintegrate in those situations is the cohesiveness of community. It is not the presence or absence of money. It is not the presence or absence of guns, but it's how much trust and communalism. How well do people know those who are around them? How much trust and compassion and connection that people have, societal and social connections. What we can do as we go into this, because we ain't got to tell them shit no more. The environment, the ecosystem, the food prices, the various crises that are coming up, gonna tell everybody, you know, the papers have been published, the research has been done, the scientists have been ringing the alarm bells for decades. But now we fucked around and found out. We are in the midst of climate disruption. So what we have to do is in order to endure this is to create cohesive ties and community. And one way to do that is to dispel and constantly articulate and demonstrate. Articulate and demonstrate. That means we teach people the facts, we educate, and then we as a community, as families, and whatever networks we have, whether we have a whole organization or all you got is your significant other, you live out the ideas. And that's really the only way. Articulate or demonstrate, organize around that. And as people come on board, as people are awakened and enlightened, and then you have to have an apparatus or structure to organize. But the bottom, the base level, the most fundamental level of revolution, I think, is the education and propaganda. Propagate these ideas. So articulate, teach the people, and demonstrate and live out these ideas in your personal life. I've been a vegan for 30 years. Now, I know the vegan ain't gonna save the planet, but just living consciously in your personal life allows you to be conscious in the larger realm. You can't be personally unconscious, blind, mindless, and oblivious, but to think you can be collectively or contribute positively to a collective endeavor if you're not living out those ideas on a personal level.
I think all of that makes sense, but where I'm stuck with when it comes to this or anything is, and I admit, I've been messing around reading George Jackson again, and it's not helpful for dealing with this world, because I think he was right, and I think that, and I'm not advocating anything, but I think that small groups of organized people have to do. I don't know how to do this without being seen as advocating, because I'm not going to do it, and I don't want to advocate what other people do what I'm not going to do. But there has to be organized, aggressive intervention. There has to be disruption.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so I'm not challenging you. I don't want you to think I'm not challenging. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
But here's the thing. I agree that it's going to take bloodshed, and if we really study
that's not even what I was saying. That's
what I'm saying, though.
Okay.
But it's going to be bloodshed and shit being damaged. But here's the thing: most violence and revolution, whether you look at the Bolsheviks, whether if you look at the decolonial struggles, most of the violence arises in struggles not from the people securing liberation, but it comes from those who hold to unjust power, trying to remain in power or trying to retake power. But one thing we have to do is understand that it's a process. It's not an event. Quoting Dale Jones again. Revolution is a process. It's not an event. So if you and I understand that it's going to take armed subversion, it's going to take armed factions, it's going to take severe sacrifice. We say, how do we get there? What is the next step? Because we're not there yet. And if we deployed our armed soldiers, most of the armed factions in our community got guns aimed at us. Most of the guns in our community are aimed at other Black people. And most of the intent behind the guns in the community is to maintain what little concessions and what little resources we've been able to glean from this system. You ain't taking my TV. You better not touch my car. The guns in our community are not about taking down the capitalists, not about taking down the polluting and toxic industries, not about preserving the phytoplankton in the ocean. So the only way to get to those factions, and when we got to those factions before, it was a transformation in our understanding. Africans always had the machetes. But what took the Africans from using the machetes in the cane field to putting the machetes to the oppressor's necks? And that was a change in how we perceive reality and how we gauge reality. Amos Wilson, this is the last thing I'll say, said the most valuable thing a people can possess is an understanding, is a collective conclusion. Nothing can be denied Africans. Anything we're willing to organize for, we will secure. But the fucking problem is we always organize for the wrong and for the worst shit. We put so much energy into getting the wrong shit. So we, as on Black Power Media, have to cultivate that. We have to plant those seeds of revolution and cultivate, nourish them until they bear fruit. We can't just say, well, we need this and we ain't got it. So then now what? We got to get there. That's what a revolutionist does. A revolutionist advocates and nurtures and pushes for revolution. Even in a time where ain't nobody with that Black stuff. I ain't down with that stuff. We endure, whether we get the people's support or not. We endure and we continue on, because what else are we going to expend our life energies doing?
So again, so that's why I wasn't even talking about, I'm not thinking specifically even at all about armed struggle in this sense. I know George was talking about this in the context of a vanguard group engaging in a people's army and going in that direction. But the basis of the point that he was making, that I'm attaching myself to here, is the need for an interruptive moment. So I don't think so I don't think it's so I hear what you're saying about people arming themselves but that's not really what I'm thinking of. Is I don't even necessarily know, but they're okay. So the other thing is similar to what I also still take from the late Glenn Ford, is that I don't see the work I'm engaged in, or BPM, in trying to, again, arrange or organize masses. It is to encourage a certain sect already in agreement with some variety of the politics that we all work with, to better organize ourselves, to magnify our reach, and to encourage a segment of us to maybe do something else. And what that is, I don't know yet. I don't fully have that formed. I don't have any clear idea, but it has to be something that is interruptive, because we can't win. We're never going to win a straight up propaganda battle with the enemy. We're never going to have control over the institutions. We're never going to outdo what they're able to do in terms of reaching a mass audience.
It's funny to me.
Diallo, man, okay. Sometimes, like let me work through it a little bit. I'll let you go, man. I'll let you go. And I didn't laugh and giggle at what you were saying, despite whatever I might have been thinking.
It's funny.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's funny to me, because when you start saying what never will happen and what will happen, and it's just not.
I'm just sharing with you, but I'm sharing with you where I am with my analysis, and that's what I'm saying. So
and I'm responding.
Well, I haven't. Well, you're responding to an incomplete thought. But go ahead.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Finish though.
Well, I don't necessarily have it all worked out. And sometimes in this space, it gets a little complicated and difficult to do that. And I think it's easier for, I think, more simple, and I don't even mean simple in a negative way, but they are more simple platitudes that you are able to offer, Diallo. They sound good and they make sense, but I don't think that they fully consider the complicated nuance of the situation we're in. So no, when I look at the situation, I don't see one. First of all, this going back decades. My problem with the whole media reform movement and all these other efforts that used to say we have to decolonize media and free media and then we can have a free society completely fundamentally misunderstands the relationship of media to a society. Media don't reflect the will of the powerless. Quite the opposite. So this idea that we would be able to free a media system without freeing a society is factually, well, I just think unsupportable as an idea. So I do think at this point, we're not going to win, just as I wouldn't argue we're going to win some straight up military battle. We have to think in terms of media the way anyone would think in terms of military, in terms of confronting this enemy. But at the same time, it has to have some kind of impact that is interruptive, that forces maybe larger groups of the society or more within those who claim to be with us to act differently. There has to be something that interrupts the normal flow. The brilliance of what we do at BPM as a collective, the brilliance of what you do on your show independently and others do independently is not having the result collectively that we claim we want. In fact, quite the opposite.
So you're saying
that's all I'm trying to say.
So you're saying not now, but so if the goal is to increase, again, people's analysis, political sophistication, so that when they create solutions, it's confrontational solutions. You're saying that it's not happening now, but ultimately that's what you want, or that's not going to happen in general?
Well, I'm saying you're never going to have a situation where the powerless have a dominance of propaganda. So what we would have to do is we would have to have propaganda be successful enough to organize enough of us to do enough of the things that are necessary to achieve political power, and then have our message become the dominant narrative that others would want to have to challenge and organize against. I'm not aware of any situation where on the way to some victory, the power structures, media or propaganda has been supplanted. It doesn't work that way. So I think because of social media, we're more lured into assuming the potential in that than is realistically possible. I don't think we fully understand the power and the capability of our enemy in this sense. So, so it's not to say stop fighting. It's not to say it's in fact it's. But I'm saying what I'm seeing myself doing is targeting small. I'm not competing for the masses here. I'm targeting smaller audiences who already claim a certain politic to organize, to enhance themselves, and to figure out something else to do, which I don't know exactly what it is, but it has to be organized and it has to be disruptive.
So, with that said, Diallo, you got any response? I'm about to post my verse, so I need you to freestyle because Jared got his verse, I got my verse, and you might have to freestyle your verse.
Well, there's a lot to deal with there. I mean, I'm not sure how this got distilled down to a discussion about the media, but I'm willing to have that discussion because I was talking well beyond media, even though I think
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was only focused on that because as I thought I heard you saying there would have to be some sort of narrative victory among our communities for us to get to some. Okay, go ahead.
It's not what I said, and that's not my position. But I'm willing to talk about the media. And what I've always
clarify your position first, and then we can.
I think my position was clear. I said articulate and demonstrate to distill it down, because to be honest, it is the problem is complex, but the solutions are relatively straightforward. And even when we talk about the media, when we talk about the military, that's us. It's the elites. Like when Bill Gates ain't kicking in nobody's door or running up on anybody, you know, and there have been times where the military has been deployed against people rising up against oppressive, tyrannical states, and the military has put down their guns. And there have been times where people have been passive for generations, and all of a sudden they pick up arms, or they just stop collaborating. They just all sit down. This world is not only run to the benefit of 1% of the total population, it's not only run to the benefit of the total population, it is dominated by that same small group. The vast majority of the people living on planet Earth will benefit. And also when you talk about, because just at the conference, we got people that come up to me and it's like, I hear from people in Latin America, in Korea, in the occupied territories, Palestine, Nigeria, Kenyans. Every week I hear from Kenyans mad at me for having the name Kenyatta. You know, so I think we tend to underestimate our potential, and our oppressors tend to have a different assessment. If the people were not a threat, they wouldn't be investing so goddamn much in Cop City, in surveillance, in their propaganda apparatus. They wouldn't have a worldwide system of miseducation if they weren't afraid of the people being educated, and they weren't.
This is precisely my point.
So
this is what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying. When you say it's we who do the doing, so it's we who can make the difference. That's the point I'm agreeing with.
I didn't say that. Wait.
I wrote it down. To follow your point. I'm actually taking notes. You were just saying that we're the ones, like Bill Gates doesn't kick in the door. He manipulates the rest of us to do the kicking in the door.
Yes.
And that's where I'm saying I agree with you. And that's why I'm saying that's why I know what our potential is, and because in particular for me, my focus in my work these last however many years has led me to be even more clear that those in power also, as I think you were just saying, recognize our power, which is why so much of their effort, more than even goes to the material part of the military wing, goes to the manipulation of the public opinion. That is my point. And that's why, because of their organized, resourceful focus on that, they are in a competitive advantage over the rest of us. They have the access. Think about what you just said, the variability. So the other part. So right now, shout out to him. My uncle-in-law is recovering in a hospital right now, Panamanian brother, who put down his weapon when he was told to invade Panama by the U.S. military. He wouldn't do it. But to the point I'm also getting at, the military still did. They still found a bunch of others to go on and go ahead and make that happen. So that's all I'm trying to say. The sentiment represented in my uncle-in-law is the sentiment I feel like I'm working to better organize, supplement, encourage, and then to get support for, so that when someone does want to make an impactful act, it can be magnified to do even more, maybe even to the point where the military can't go, in spite of his and some others deciding to put down their guns. So that's all I'm trying to say. It's not about a pessimism, and it's not about thinking that we can't do it, and it's not about appreciating our potential. In fact, quite the opposite, because I do recognize the potential threat we represent, and I recognize that those in power also do, is where I feel like we need to make some adjustments in how we understand media and how we want to engage it and what we can expect from it.
So it would sound similar to what Diallo says about climate. Like what you said about climate, like you're not going, vegan your way to a cleaner environment.
No.
You can stop throwing
vegan
plastic.
Anyway.
You can, but
No, I'm a vegan anyway, and in the same way that I study George Jackson.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We clear.
Yeah, well, I guess we don't have a disagreement. I do understand. So as long as what you're
Look
saying,
at that,
but
chat.
as far as
we the first black podcast to neutralize a debate that was about to happen but didn't happen. Go ahead, put that in the chat. First black.
Yeah,
podcast.
but
by the way, in the book launch that I'm promoting again tomorrow, that's the point. That the reason you said when you said Diallo, and I made a note that you said something to the effect that the solutions are really more simple once we get past. That's my point about what I'm saying in there. The economic analysis is easily dismissed as flawed. It's the propaganda that is more complicated to circumvent.
Yeah,
it's the mythology built up around all of this that are more complicated.
Think that we fail to do what our oppressors are very clear on. This system is extremely fragile. It is extremely vulnerable. And the oppressors understand the vulnerabilities and the fragility. I mean, Trump is about to go to jail because in many of those documents told the truth. The problem is with the reason things are made top secret is because the truth is considered privileged information. And Trump was going to reveal some facts that they didn't want out. So this system is extremely vulnerable. And another thing that I also think we miss is that when a lot of times when the oppressor focus as much on winning the peace as they do winning the war. And I think when we think in a state of peace or a state where there isn't open combat, there isn't open ongoing conflict, we tend to think that, oh, the struggle is won because the fight is over. Our oppressors focus as aggressively on winning the peace as they do winning the war. So the conflict is ongoing regardless of what stage or how the conflict is manifested. So, and I'm not speaking about, of course, you and Geechee. I'm just talking about we as a community, we as a people. A lot of times we win conflicts and lose the peace. You know, we'll fight our oppressors to the negotiating table. And when sitting at the...
I don't want to ruin the movie, but have you seen Syriana? With Matt Damon and the whole bunch of them. I keep saying, to your point, and to my experience on a 50 cal machine gun mount on an aircraft carrier, watch the film and particularly how it ends. It is as close to a Hollywood cinematic depiction of the point you and I think I are both making. And it is actually a very good film. And that ending, I'm not going to spoil. I'm not spoiling it. But you got to see the ending to get to fully appreciate Diallo's point and the one I think I'm making. Syriana is I put it in the chat. There it is right there. But yeah, please check that out. And yeah. Anyway,
so like Sway in the morning, we gonna end this episode with a Diallo freestyle off the dome. I'm gonna share
no, the hell you not. Y'all not gonna get me to embarrass myself.
I thought you said, what kind of shit is this? How you gonna renege?
You said freestyle. Don't style for free, man. I'm like E40. This ain't a freestyle. This is pay style.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, you can read my lyrics to the audience. Then how about that?
Go ahead, I'll read it. Go ahead.
You can tell them that you wrote it. You know, I'm ghostwriting.
Oh, ghostwriting, yeah. Okay. If Kanye can get $1 billion off that, why shouldn't I get a couple of dollars?
I think this is it. Am I sharing right? How big is the screen? I can't even see it. I gotta make it bigger.
I didn't know y'all was gonna. I thought we was gonna do a counter track. You know,
I mean, we gonna do a counter track, but hey. We gotta drop the bars. Go ahead, Diallo.
Let me put on my reading glasses here. Okay. What you laughing at?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Are you being ableist?
No,
perhaps. Okay, let us proceed. So I'm just gonna read it. I'm not gonna rhyme it.
Okay.
Yeah, we heard it all before. Poor cop.
Let me magnify my screen because I don't know why this is so small. It just got smaller. What's happening? Oh, I can full screen. Hold on. What is? Oh, here we go. I got it on full screen now. Here we go. Yeah, we heard it all before. Poor cop kid pushing weight, blue and Black Lives Matter, Wakanda. King, you ain't poor no more. Black, giving back Horatio Alger. Either you a con or consciousness, but you just keep conning us. Wow, that was heavy. Talking that fly shit, black bank or bust, you using the myth of black buying power, jumping on team with white capitalists to bank us. But you know the rules. When you getting jumped, knock the biggest one out first. He normally soft and a punk. Talk about you so soft, bump. Act like you have proletariat bars when you just a lump. Oh, nice. Name dropping revolutionaries in line with black radical tradition. When you in the right pocket, support Cop City, it proves you be part of a SCOTUS extradition. Talk shit next time at us. We serving Fred Hampton newspapers to all you black capitalists.
Yeah, you violent. Geechee just came with all the violence. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Is that better than mine, man?
I think it's better than yours.
We ain't battling each other. Don't Lauryn Hill us, Jared.
Don't Lauryn Hill?
Oh, yeah, right.
And if we gonna go to Fuji's route with our burgeoning rap career, I don't mind being the prize.
I want to be Lauryn Hill.
I'm gonna tell on all of y'all.
Since y'all two always beefing, I'm gonna be prize.
You be the white clef. No, you be the white clef.
No, y'all two. Y'all two.
I don't know, man.
I mean, everybody said I'll rap you, Jared. So we just waiting for Diallo bar.
You out rap me?
Listen, I'm not gonna drop.
Hold up.
I'm not gonna.
We wait for
Here we go.
Chicago drill music.
Geechee out rap Ball. Keontae be hating on me all day. He been wrong all morning. I can't. Fake rappers talk revolution, but on some sold ass shit. Scamming black fans who they really helping keep broke as shit. You said a critic's word ain't worth no money, so the speaker's a bitch, but your words are so bought off like you Cotton Smith. The words you speak are so weak like your back broke as shit, spoken like a man who can't stand and won't raise no fist. So yeah, we hang together, but on some org ass shit while you grinning in some pictures with devils, best and porg ass shit. What you see in our eyes ain't no envy or filler. What we see is the spies in your lyrics more cuddly than killer. You say you yearn to be Hearn or maybe more like Young. Neither is revolutionary. They just bougie and capitalist strung. This ball here ain't new and damn sure ain't no cue. I don't win by ending black. I don't win by ending black like your politics do. You claim to be all black, but you act really blue. No diss to blue black, that legend of DC, or to that African hue. Yeah, I'ma stay in my place where I live and dwell in a politics so radical they put adherents in jail while you run your mouth from every city to sale, claiming you rep movements and the people in cells, but you won't even mention Cop City. Ain't you from ATL? Come on, son, that's bars. That's bars. And my daughter hating. She can hate. That's bars.
Let's just say everybody did their best, and that's what matters.
Hey, Diallo don't want to tell you lost. That's what he's trying to say. You got your book launch coming out. He don't want to kill your spirit. He don't want to kill your spirit.
No, Ricky, I read it in spite my child's disapproval. I've just
see. That's why I didn't even drop a verse because y'all backing down.
I'm ready. I'm ready to fight.
I didn't back down. I just felt.
So somebody give us a beat. We gonna spit them.
Listen, I told him next time you talk shit at us, we serving Fred Hampton newspaper.
Next time, okay, that's why, man.
At us.
I can't.
I'm not swinging no papers at nobody. You know.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Well, how
anyway,
does the NRA keep him in control? That was fun, yeah.
It was fun.
Good job, everybody.
We did a writers workshop, a BPM writers workshop.
There we go. All right, good people. So real quick, just as we get out of here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. There's a lot of great stuff coming up on the platform. Warrior class tomorrow, my book launch party. We're going to have Daruba, Revolution on Both Sides, Sunday. Kalanji's coming back with RSTV, Remembering Medgar Evers and Patrice Lumumba. And then on Sunday, and then all that's on Sunday, following up at the end of the day with Sundays and the Ear Doctor before we come back on Monday with more George Jackson and Guerrilla Intellectual University. I think Jackie's going to be around later on today. I think her show is going to air tonight with I think Professor Tauheed. I'm not sure. And she might be popping up for a power lunch. But she will be joining me also on Sunday for what we're going to call Luke Mon What I Like with Daruba. And anything else I'm missing? What you all got coming up? What's next?
Well, Bro Diallo will be live again. Bro Diallo show, Q4 Radio here in Chicago Monday morning. Rational Radicals with Skip Coon this coming Wednesday. And if you're in Kansas City, Missouri on July 29th and you want to meet up and with me and Skip Coon, we'll both be in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm going to take him to the vegan restaurants, and I guess he'll take me to the Southern Baptist Tabernacle. So, link up with us around July 29th, July 30th, Kansas City, Missouri, if you want to link and greet the Rational Radicals.
All right.
That's actually dope. Maybe could I get out there?
Come through. In KC. Killer City, State of Misery.
Oh, wow. Anyway, Geechee, anything from you want to let us know?
Yeah, so we actually studying your book. So obviously, I know you will come through on a couple sessions. We studying that book, but it's actually two groups going on at once. So it's one, the latest edition of Event and Reality by Michael Parenti, a group of young organizers in Charleston, I think, and then Myth of the Black Bar Empire second edition. So those two different books that we are studying. Anybody want to jump in on any of those?
And let us know about that Sanctions book again real quick.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Ricky Ryan, Ojamu, and all the other contributors. This actually came in handy. So I'm in LA, and one of my friends is a pilot, and his ass, we always arguing, and he swears he knows the Russia situation. So I hit him with the book and sanctioned him, and so shut him up a little bit. So appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all the remixes of everybody coming through. And to those who I will see in person at my crib tomorrow, peace. See you tomorrow. And to those who we'll see live at the book launch, peace to you as well. Thanks, everybody. Once again, Diallo, Geechee. Make sure you all like, share, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. We'll catch you next week right here on Earn Your Liberation. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
You got to earn your liberation.